If you've ever let the ice cream sit on the counter for a little bit just to let it soften, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. It's the Wild West out there, and we are going to attack it again here today. Got a lot of news to go through. Of course, the big thing, we are waiting that PPI, that print coming out in 29 minutes. We're going to cover that. We're going to talk to Tim Melvin. We're going to take a look at all the other stocks that are moving around here today. And perhaps most importantly, we are going to try and make some money. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the September 10th edition for Wednesday, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. It is hump day now, and it is the first day of the big data prints that we are waiting for. PPI due out in 29 minutes, and we're going to cover it all. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Today, it's Crimp Biscuit who is first. Welcome, Crimp Biscuit. Early bird gets the worm. Hopefully you're trading in the pre-market. Let me know. Candace, good morning. Welcome back. Rustam, good morning. Dre, nice to join you. Hopefully you're not a pumper, because if you will, you'll get booted. But good morning anyway. Zach, good morning. Welcome back. 6 billion drone initiative just announced for Europe. Hey, it's almost like we found the right theme here, right? It's almost like drones are a pretty good theme, and we found them, and we found cheap ones, and we're kind of waiting for it to appreciate. It's almost like we've done it right. Isn't that right, Zach? Let's see how that shakes out. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. Brian, good morning. Welcome back. QQQM shot me into a different tax bracket yesterday. Good stuff. Glad you're not talking about holding a bag on that, because that's the other possibility there. But good stuff, Bri. We're going to go back and get it tomorrow. What's on your radar for today? Corey, welcome back. EKS, welcome back. Yeah, okay, this Dre guy is a clown. He is banned. Whoop. All right, sorry about the pumper, guys. Miles, welcome back. Sun-Kissed Yogi, welcome back. Ryan Summerall, good to see you again. Welcome back. Big Dave, good morning. Richard Judge is back. Sideshow, Yak Shamash, gonna be a good day again. Positive vibes always, brother. Positive vibes always. Cam, good to see you. Ethan, good to see you. Day Trader, welcome back. Jim, welcome back. Bernhard, welcome back. Buffalo by Bicycles, locked in and ready to go. There's Brandy, ready to go. Good morning, Brandy. JJ, welcome back. Raffle, welcome back. The man from Snowy River. Actually sounds like a pretty good scenic spot for like a picture or something. Snowy River in the winter. Sounds awesome. Welcome back nonetheless. Dirkus, good morning. Hector, good morning. Abby, good morning. Robert, good morning. Good to see you. All That Glitters. Love it here in all caps. Let's go. All That Glitters. Welcome back. Good morning. Kevin, it's good. Good morning. Good to see you again. Jay Grant, good morning. Chuck, good morning. Neville, good morning. Sneer, my first time her. I think you mean here. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. Shady, good morning. Lambo Rolls, welcome back. Arhan, welcome back. Wiss, welcome back. Just Passing Through, welcome back. Smita, good morning. Kenneth, good morning. Abed, good morning. JL, welcome back. Oh man, we got a whole group in here. James and Kenneth, welcome back. CWD moving again. I'm sure we'll break down all of those movers. But before we do that, let's get our Stock Market Today segment. All right, we have a mixed pre-market today for Wednesday, September 10th. S&P futures here up just over 0.36%. Dow futures in the red, down by 0.13%, and NASDAQ futures leading the way higher by 0.37%. That, of course, is on the back of those blowout Oracle earnings that we saw yesterday. Let's take a look at some cues from the session here. Most S&P sectors on the S&P 500 closed on a positive note and new all-time highs yesterday. Utilities, healthcare, and communication services stocks recording the biggest gains on Tuesday. However, materials and industrial stocks bucked the overall market trend, closing the session lower. This broad strength led U.S. stocks to settle higher, with all three major indices closing at record highs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics removed 911,000 non-farm payroll jobs from its count between April 2024 and March of 2025, indicating the labor market had been cooling far earlier than many on Wall Street had anticipated. Market briefly dipped in the wake of the data release, yet a majority of U.S. equity indices showed some recovery by midday in New York as sharp downward revisions in payrolls further strengthens the case for the Federal Reserve to begin cutting interest rates. United Health, ticker UNH, jumped more than 8% on Tuesday. And for those of you that are chartists, that's now in the gap that we hope fills up near 370. After the healthcare giant offered an upbeat assessment of its Medicare Advantage business. Now, we also, regarding those revised figures there, stocks reached new record highs on Tuesday. That was driven by the revised U.S. job figures that showed a slowing labor market. And this data strengthened investor confidence that the Federal Reserve will cut rates in September. So that is right around the corner here. Of course, investors are awaiting August's crucial producer price index slated to release here this morning. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.08%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.54%. All right, let's take a look at the SPY. As mentioned, new record highs yesterday, and maybe we're setting up for another open here today. Current price 652.74. Our high from the pre-market this morning, 652.98. As far as those key levels, new record highs now, blue sky breakout territory here on the SPY. The downside key level still going to be that 20-day moving average, as we've covered almost every day here. That is determining the trend here. That value 644.79. We'll see if we end up testing that here today, or if the PPI actually sends us higher. We'll see what we're waiting for on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some insights from analysts here. Market analysts are optimistic about the future of equities, though their strategies for capturing gains differ, with some focusing on historical U.S. market trends and others on selective global opportunities. Analysts at LPL Financial believe that the U.S. stock market has more room to run, arguing that its recent performance is simply, quote, following the playbook, end quote. After recovering from significant sell-offs, historical data shows that more gains are likely. According to a study by the firm, S&P 500 has delivered average gains of 16.2% in the 12 months following a recovery from a market correction. Quote, it takes a lot to derail a bull market that has broken out to new highs, end quote. That comes from our friend Jeffrey Bookbinder, LPL's chief equity strategist. The current bull market, which started in October of 2022, has gained about 81%. This is well below the historical average cumulative gain of 168% for bull markets, suggesting its run is not over. LPL sees several potential catalysts to push stocks higher, including strong AI-fueled growth in corporate profits and a resilient U.S. economy that is expected to avoid a recession. Strategists at the BlackRock Investment Institute are also constructive, but emphasize a granular approach with a particular focus on emerging markets. They identify three key drivers for emerging market assets this year: a weaker U.S. dollar, a broadly stable macro environment, and the impact of megaforces like AI and geopolitical fragmentation. BlackRock advises that the selectivity across countries and sectors remains key. The firm notes that the rewiring of global supply chains is benefiting countries like Mexico and Vietnam, while Taiwan and South Korea are major players in the AI semiconductor buildout. Looking long-term, BlackRock holds a strategic overweight to emerging markets, citing the promise of nations like India, which can leverage its younger population and growing digitization to scale in a cutting-edge digital economy. While tactically neutral on broad EM or emerging market equities, the firm is overweight U.S. stocks, agreeing that the AI theme provides near-term earnings support. All right, now, so who watched the Apple event yesterday? I guess perhaps the better question: who's excited about what they saw from the Apple event? Who's getting the new phone? Taking a look here, or starting here with the Apple daily chart, you can see we've actually done a pretty good job coming back in to backtest the 233 level that we broke out from earlier this month. We're also in the process maybe testing that 20-day moving average, that value down there at 232.19. We'll see if that provides some support here. Apple a little bit weak in the pre-market following its iPhone event, down by just about 0.5%. Let me know if you folks, Cam says it was awe-dropping. Cam, did it live up to its name? In your opinion, did it live up to its name? Was it awe-dropping? I can't believe that's what they called it. Nonetheless, Apple stock fell Tuesday after the company unveiled its highly anticipated iPhone 17 and several other products at its awe-dropping event. An analyst highlights why the iPhone is so important for the tech giant. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives maintained an outperform rating on Apple with a 270 price target. I woke up this morning and thought he was going to downgrade it. Silly me. Dan, he's not going to downgrade it. I'm just kidding anyway. The analyst takeaways: with new iPhones, AirPods, and Apple Watches, Apple is looking to, quote, leverage the largest customer installed base in the world, end quote. I've said in a new investor's note. And this is really what we've been focusing on. I know that the lack of innovation is really what's bothering everybody about this. But the reality is that this company's install base is so crazy that even when they release a new phone, it's going to lead to good numbers. And looks like we're on track to do that again. The analyst said Apple's 2.4 billion iOS devices and 1.5 billion iPhones worldwide, setting up a favorable outcome if consumers choose to update their devices. Some consumers might be forced to, depending on the age of their phone or how it's performing. Quote, we estimate roughly 315 million iPhone users of the 1.5 billion users worldwide have not upgraded their phone in over 4 years. Speaking to an upgrade opportunity. Sometimes when analysts talk about these opportunities, we hear things like super cycle and this and that. We'll see where this one ends up going here. But this giving you some pretty raw numbers here, right? 315 million people out of a 1.5 bill cohort have phones that are 4+ years older. That does seem like a chance to upgrade. But, how often do you folks upgrade your iPhone or your phone in general, even if you don't use a phone? I'd be curious to know that. Producer, maybe that's a decent question for the group here. At what regular cadence are you interested, or do you feel that you need to upgrade your phone? Nasir says AirPod Pro update cycle is coming in hard. What do you mean by that? Do you like the new AirPods that were shown? Is there an update coming for existing AirPods that you're excited about? Do you think more people are going to upgrade their AirPods? Those are not cheap earbuds. They are actually very good, though. Anyway, back to the story here. For the new iPhone 17, Ives highlights better color selection, a better display, the A19 chip, better camera features, and Apple Intelligence features. Quote, the company's focus on much improved internal product efficiencies balanced with bold redesigns and practical new features interwoven with Apple Intelligence sets up Apple to launch towards an eventual super cycle. There it is. Over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll see if we do get that super cycle. The analyst said Apple's AI strategy is holding the stock back. This looks to be, we all pretty much think the same thing here. I don't think there's anyone that I've come across that's like, yeah, the Apple AI, that's why I'm buying stuff. Definitely seems weak. We'll see if they actually can close that gap. I think some of you are skeptical. Be curious to know if you're still skeptical there. With the new iPhone and products, I've said this could be the spark for a new era at Apple as the company shows new use cases for its ecosystem. I've said Apple likely raised the price of the iPhone 17 Pro from $999 to $1099 due to tariffs, while the base iPhone price remained the same at $799. The analyst highlighted Apple focusing on production of iPhones in India for the U.S. market instead of production in China. The iPhone tariffs are likely to be a $1 billion headwind for Apple in the September quarter, Ives predicted. So let me know what you think here on Apple, the products. Are you going to upgrade? What product are you most likely to upgrade first? Any of that. And then, of course, and perhaps more importantly than anything else, are you interested in the stock, especially if it holds that 233 level that we took a look at on the chart earlier? All right. Some other really big news. Yeah, we're going to talk about Oracle because they are actually still holding higher here by 31.5%. Oracle yesterday closed at 241.51, and today it's 317 in the pre-market. Just an absolute monster move. You want to see what that looks like? Here you go. One thing here for a trade on Oracle, maybe a gap and go setup on this, just purely looking at the chart. The other thing is I'll probably mark off on the main workspace that I use during trading hours. I'll probably mark off this pre-market range, and same deal here with Oracle. If it breaks out and back tests, that might be a decent long setup. If it breaks down from that range and back tests the range, that might be a decent short setup or put setup if that's the way that you want to go. We'll mark that out when we get closer to the open here. But in the meantime, let's actually talk about the report itself. It actually missed earnings. Oracle released its first quarter results after the bell yesterday. They reported quarterly earnings of $147 per share, which missed the analyst consensus estimate of $148, barely missed there on EPS. Quarterly revenue came in at $14.92 billion. That missed the street estimate of $15.03 billion and is up from revenue of $13.3 billion in the same period in the prior year. Quote, multi-cloud database revenue from Amazon, Google, and Microsoft grew at the incredible rate of 1,529% in the first quarter. That is 1,529% growth. That came from Oracle Chairman and Chief Technology Officer Larry Ellison. He's getting his flowers this morning. Quote, we expect multi-cloud revenue to grow substantially every quarter for several years as we deliver another 37 data centers to our 3 hyperscaler partners for a total of 71. Oracle Cloud revenue, $7.2 billion. That was up 27% in constant currency. Cloud infrastructure revenue, $3.3. That was up 54%. Cloud application revenue, $3.8 billion. That was up 10%. Fusion Cloud ERP, $1 billion, up 16%. And NetSuite Cloud ERP up 15% on a constant currency basis. Quote, we signed 4 multi-billion-dollar contracts with 3 different customers in the first quarter. That came from Oracle CEO Safra Catz. Quote, this resulted in RPO contract backlog increasing 359% to $455 billion. This is going to be one of the huge reasons here that Oracle is up. I mean, this baby got backlog for sure. 359% to $455 billion. That's insane. It was an astonishing quarter, and demand for Oracle's cloud infrastructure continues to build. Over the next few months, we expect to sign up several additional multi-billion-dollar customers, and RPO is likely to exceed $500 billion. Day Trader says his thesis is playing out well. Yeah, indeed it is. We'll see how it keeps playing out. I'll say this about Oracle. I can't reasonably say, yeah, we should chase a stock that's up 31% after its earnings. But aside from that, I actually think if Oracle pulls back, it is probably a buy on a lot of these pullbacks, in particular, if it comes into a support level. CEO Catz teased significant revenue in the quarters ahead. Quote, as a bit of a preview, we expect Oracle Cloud Infrastructure revenue to grow 77% to $18 billion this fiscal year, and then increase to $32 billion, $73 billion, $114 billion, and $144 billion over the subsequent 4 years. This, I think, probably one of the best quotes from the entire report. And this is why Oracle is just absolutely smashing here. Day Trader, I'm pretty sure that you're long Oracle in a long-term position. I feel like we've talked about this before. Maybe I'm misremembering or confusing it with another position. But let me know what you think here for trades. And I guess perhaps instead of letting me know, let the group know how you're looking to take advantage of this. And does this make you look for anything else out there? Are you looking to place new trades, whether it's Oracle or some other stock, based on this report and based on your thesis that appears to be playing out? A little bit more here on Oracle. Larry Ellison, the founder and chief technology officer of Oracle, expressed optimism regarding the future of AI and his company's competitive positioning within the segment. During the company's first quarter earnings call, Ellison declared, quote, "Eventually AI will change everything," end quote, while highlighting the company's growth dominance in enterprise AI infrastructure. According to Ellison, inference, excuse me, I almost said interference. AI inference, which refers to using trained models in real world applications, is poised to be, quote, much, much larger than the AI training market, end quote. He says that with millions of customers using AI models to run their businesses and governments, it's a gigantic multi-trillion-dollar market. Day trader here, appreciate that. You're right. I'm in from 116, so you do have a long-term position here on Oracle, and you are up bigly, day trader. I'm still holding for more with Oracle. Nothing more I can add right now. Sorry. That's no problem. So you still have a long-term thesis. Your thesis is playing out, and you see more room to go in your existing position. That's great. And that is definitely helpful. Oracle is aggressively positioning itself as a leader in inferencing, touting its newly launched AI database, which enables enterprises to vectorize private data, which is essentially covering raw data into numerical representations, before securely linking it with large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and Llama. Quote, "We're the custodian of millions of databases," end quote. That comes from Ellison, adding that the company is better positioned than anybody to take advantage of inferencing. Oracle released its first quarter earnings report, which we already covered. It's actually got a really awesome Benzinga momentum rating. So if you've been using the momentum fields within the Benzinga scanner, you've probably been staring at that Oracle ticker for some time. Okay, I know it's not quite 8:30, but that just means we get bonus time with one of our favorite people around. Let's go ahead and say good morning, Tim Melvin, and check out how he is doing here today. Tim, good morning, buddy. How you doing today?
We are doing great, Ryan. And just as an FYI, so I don't forget, Ryan, I sent you links to a couple studies that we're going to talk about today that I think are very cool, and that people will have a great deal of interest in, and they might ask for it, which means that I'm wrong and nobody will ask for it. Nobody will care, but you've got the links. So
I'll tell you what, Tim, I am not willing to say that. The last time that you sent me some stuff, I got a whole bunch of requests for days after your appearance. So not only was there interest right when you were doing it, but days after, that interest did not wane, and we sent that out quite a bit. I would expect the same thing here today. But what do you got for us?
Well, first off, I want to agree with Tom. I think we should put Tim Melvin in as the Fed chairman. That's a wise decision, to just pay me that much money, because I'm going to let the market determine the rate. So I'll just sit back and collect the check and do nothing. And Oracle was a Tim Melvin stock in 2022. Thank you very much. Anyway, coming in.
I love it. I love it, Tim. Victory lap it up. Let's go.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Lion Atlas, I'm going to kick your rear end this morning because you're wrong, my friend. Not missing out on making a boat of money in gold. We are now up to 3 gold positions in our trade alerts service, because the fundamental momentum has indicated that we should have those. So, and I've said all along that if you're a trend following investor, the trend in gold has been up since 2023. Now, am I a gold bug? Do I love gold? Do I think there's enough gold in the world to go on a gold standard? No. However, we go on data around here, except for the cats are involved, and then we do whatever the hell they want.
That sounds about right. That tracks.
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump up here in a second, because one of His Majesties is at the door and would like to be let out of the office because my wife has stopped running the dreaded vacuum monster. When he starts whining, I'll jump up and let him out. But so, yeah, I mean, we did not miss gold at all. So there we go. And Lion Atlas, thank you very much. And I was not, please didn't take any of that hostile. That was just fun. So anyway, let's jump into a couple of things here this morning. The first study that I want to talk about, because I read a lot of studies over the last week. This is a very cool study, and it's one of the ones, Ryan, that I sent you a link to. This is called Option Strategies and Market Signals. Do they add value to equity portfolios? Now, what the authors did here is they went in and they went looking at some very simple trading signals. 3 are backward looking from equities: momentum, low volatility, absolute trend. 2 forward looking from options: implied volatility and skew. And those are the 2 that the so-called experts always want to talk about. Oh, the IV and the skew, and it was here and it was there, so you got to do this. And they tested them all, right? So what we're looking for here now is we're looking at covered calls and protective puts. And we're trying to make this as easy as possible for people that did not, go to grad school and learn all about implied vols and skew and all that fun stuff. And here's what they found. This is actually really cool. Now, the momentum signal, you can use the momentum ranks because there's not a lot of difference. So you can use the Benzinga Pro momentum ranks that I developed. It's a simple momentum measure, averaging momentum across several time frames, exactly as I did in putting that one together. Then they have a low vol rank. Then they have realized volatility over similar time frames as the momentum rank. The trend signal is absolute time series momentum that requires positive returns over 12, 6, and 3 months. That's pretty easy to put together, right? So it's easy to find. Then there's some option signals that are explained in deeper detail in the report that use 3 to 7 day averages of at the money, 12-month implied vols, and a standard skew measure. All this higher math stuff. In the strategy, covered calls are sold 10% out of the money. Protective puts are bought 10% out of the money. And then 2 extra overrays, you buy back dead calls when delta sinks, and you take profits on deep in the money puts when something goes from out of the money to in the money. And there's a little IV filter in there. There's also an 20% equity leverage variant. And for those of you that have followed along, I've said for some time, if you really want to maximize your results as an investor, quit wasting your time looking for magic patterns and spend a lot more time working on leverage and when to apply it and withdraw it. So looking at this, what the authors found, and this is really cool, Ryan, because we've got all the skew and the high implied volatility and all the higher math. They're not the big ad. The big ad, the value added indicator here is that simple momentum filter. Okay. That's the one that adds the most value on selling calls that are 10% out of the money. Skew, which is actually a cool calculation, and it's in the paper, explains how to do it, does add a little bit of value. So you can use trend with the proper skew setup. Applying 20% leverage does exactly what you expect. It lifts returns, but also widens out volatility a little bit. But trend, the positive trend over the 12, 6, and 3 month timeframes, absolutely the most important variable. Or cover calls. For protective puts, same thing. So how do we make this work, right? What do we do with this? This is a lot. So the author suggests take the most liquid optional names in the U.S. large cap universe, top 150 to 200 stocks by option liquidity and market cap, because we're going to be selling options, right? Stocks liquidity is totally not a concern here. You're going to rebalance your core monthly on close, but you're going to be looking through this universe of stocks. You're going to be looking for the time series momentum positive, and you're going to sell 10% out of the money calls on that. And I'm making this really simple, okay? And then if the trend is negative, and remember, all 3 windows, 12, 6, and 3 months, have to be positive returns to have positive momentum. If any one of the 3 is negative, it's trend negative.
So you're basically looking for time frame continuity across these time frames, and that's one of the requirements for this to be working.
Yes.
Okay.
And cool. When the tape is weak or sideways, and this is you're going to want to use a trend indicator. I would suggest probably a 50 or 100 day moving average. When the tape is down to sideways, then you're going to want to overwrite this thing. So for every 100 shares that you own, you sell 1.5 calls. You're using whatever expiration is closest to 6 months out, strikes 10% out of the money. Okay. Then same thing on puts, 2.5% of your total portfolio value every 6 months to buying out of the money puts, 10% out of the money on stocks that have a negative trend. Okay. So this, and you step up a little bit from the 2.5% based on your risk profile if we go under the 200-day moving average in the S&P 500. So this is just a very cool approach to covered calls and protective puts, right? Because everybody talks about, oh, we got to do covered calls, you got to do protective puts, you got to do this, but they don't tell you how to do it. Right. And the one thing that I've learned from, getting to know Anne Marie better
I was going to
is
say.
there's rules to this stuff, right? And you need to know kind of the rules and have a systematic approach. Or, of course, you can just rely on Anne Marie, which also makes a lot of sense to me.
Hey,
But,
that's Tim, full disclosure here. That's what I've been doing.
yeah,
That's what I've been doing. So she constantly humbles me too, right? Like I think I've got it figured out. Then she introduces a new wrinkle. Tim, I beg your pardon. Just for 1 sec here, I want to cover the PPI that is coming out here. When my pro loads here, good Lord, come on. I know it's out. PPI month over month for August, 1/10 contraction. That is negative 0.1. The estimate was for a positive 0.3 there. S&P futures absolutely ticking up on the back of this, up now 0.48%. This is actually off the 65 and a quarter highs that the futures put in. So also U.S. core PPI month over month for August, minus 1/10. Again, that was versus the 0.3 estimate. So a good read here. We were kind of expecting this, right? We were kind of expecting a soft print here today. Now we're actually getting it. PPI year over year for August, 2.6% versus the 3.3% estimate. Tim, you got any knee-jerk reaction thoughts on this?
Yeah, I can't wait to see the internal numbers. I mean, is what fell, what collapsed? I mean, that is now we're going to start moving into a 50 basis point cut discussion.
So that you know what? We actually talked about that the last couple of days. Let me pick your brain on that for a sec. Couple of things. Number one, do you honestly think that this first cut has a chance of being 50 bips as opposed to 25?
Let's put it this way: since they can't fire Cook, but Trump's new appointee, Steve Mirren, is also going to be in the room. I'm not sure what they'll do, but I damn sure wish I was in the room to listen to the conversation. That's going to be some interesting minutes. There's something off in this number. I will just say that.
Okay.
Okay. For this,
so you actually want to look under the hood and then determine instead. Okay, fair.
Yes. The negative PPI number doesn't make any sense in here. Just because I'm looking at the futures markets and for prices of things that have gone up. And I know from the people I've talked to that the inputs are higher. So I want to look in the numbers.
Okay.
Right. So like I said, something's a little weird, but you know what? The market's going to love the number because now that does set up a rate cut as opposed to a rate hike.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that they've been saying recently is that the Fed has been more focusing on the job situation than the inflation situation. This print here kind of seems to put the nail in the coffin, right? Like, okay, I think they are going to focus more on the job situation. This is one of their mandates. And to me, I agree with you, Tim. I think for sure now this is, I'd like to know what the Fed watch tool, maybe I can pull that up here.
Well, yeah, it's, as you pull up the Fed watch tool, I will tell you that the Fed watch tool was a pretty good tool right up until about 2012. When the Fed started getting really activist, right? And interest rates were at near zero, it stopped being worth a damn. And when they started raising rates in 2021, 2022, it's just been, it hasn't worked. That and the Fed watch at the Merc and the dot plots haven't been worth a damn. So
okay. Look, with what you're saying here, Lion here saying that the numbers are cooked, Aris stock market, the numbers are cooked, folks. Even if that's the case, the market is responding to this. Yeah. And turning a blind eye to this and not paying attention to it, I'm sorry, that's the wrong move. Straight up. And I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to talk about in the webinar tonight, right? The news flow from politics, geopolitics, the economic situation is annoyingly loud. And then you've got the instant experts of the internet who have, instantly invented degrees and opinions on every subject under the sun. They know about everything and they're going to tell you about everything. And they're usually wrong. What you have to look to at times like these, is what Ryan said. What is going on? What do the numbers tell us? And the numbers are going to tell us what the market thinks. And in the short term, that's what matters the most. Okay. So whether the numbers are cooked, whether Biden cooked them or Trump is cooking them or whoever's cooking, it doesn't matter. The market reaction in front of you on the tape is what's going to matter.
Yeah, and I see a number of questions here. How can the numbers be cooked? This, that, and the other thing. Like Tim, I would totally echo you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The data's coming out in front of you. The data's causing the market to move. Watch that.
In the longer run.
Here we go, Zach. I love this. Sorry, Tim. Cooked or real? We trade it.
Yeah, look.
We need that on a shirt, Zach. Let's go.
Everything shows up in price or value. I've said that, and I say it almost every week.
Yeah,
right?
you do.
And so if the numbers are cooked, it's going to show up in price, right? You'll see bonds rally, and then somebody's going to get in there and figure out that the numbers are cooked. And by the way, all the glitters, the numbers aren't that hard to cook. They're not. The watchdogs don't get their hands on this data until after it's released. So somebody wants to cook it, they can cook it. But however, if it's cooked, you'll see bonds rallying, and then there'll be a trade that makes absolutely no sense, right? There'll be a high volume move down that shatters through the short-term moving averages. Until that happens, you got stocks and bonds, responding pretty favorably here.
Indeed. All right. Good. We got that print out of the way. S&P futures here holding higher by 0.54%. So although we are off the highs, we are steadily holding higher here. Rest of the market looks pretty good here. NASDAQ, SPY, and Dow all popping. All right, Tim, let's get back to what you were on there.
Okay, so we've done covered calls on highly liquid options. Trend is the rule that matters, but all of the rules are broken out in the study copy that I sent to Ryan to forward on to anybody that wants it. Now, you've got all the good stuff in here, right? You've got stocks, you've got trend, you've got covered calls, you've got protective puts, you've got a formula for putting it into place, you've got overwriting and hedging and all sorts of fun stuff. That's a great paper. And I think it adds value to your life as a trader in particular, or as a long-term investor that wants to use a call or protective put strategy. So there it is. Ryan can send you the paper if you've got feedback or anything. Reach out to Ryan and he'll reach out to me and we'll get back to you. Now, the next one that I want to talk about, and I also sent you a link to this. This, simply put, is a very cool paper. And if you're a trader, you want to pay attention to what I'm about to talk about, because this one can make you some cash. All right. There's a study that came out earlier this year called Volume Shocks and Overnight Returns. And it's by three very bright fellows from Oxford University over in England. Now, the paper's core is simply that stocks, and their universe is the Russell 2000, right? If there are unexpected spikes in trading volume shocks during the day, that predicts positive returns overnight. Now, the way you look at this is about 3:45, you've got to stop what you're doing and look at, and I would actually start doing this at 3:30. You want to look at where are the volume shocks? Which stocks have really unusual volume swells? Okay. And you're looking for those, and you want the highest ones, right? The highest 10% of all stocks in your universe with big volume swells. You want to own those. But here's the thing. It predicts unexpected spikes in trading volumes, predict positive overnight returns, but not next day returns. So you want to get your trade in. You want to get your trade in before the close, because you're selling this thing on the open in the morning. And it's pretty cool. They run the basic core studies. They use trading volume up to 345. So that this is a firm Quantitativo that takes these studies and puts them into real world. And so in their research, they tested it, right? Now, the problem with the study results, which are really good, they go from January 2004 to August 26, 2025. It returns 31% a year with a volatility of just 13%, which is outstanding, obviously. Max drawdown is very low. But when we take that has zero friction and zero commission. So if we put friction in there on the number of trades that we're doing here, because you're trading every day, right? So and even if there's no commission, there's friction and there's little tiny minuscule fees attached to it, and there's the bid-ask spread and a bunch of other stuff that are going to detract from the return. So if you apply even a modest amount of friction to this strategy, the return drops, and it drops quite a bit. It goes from 31% a year over that 21-year period to just 11.5, which is greater than the stock market's return of 8.4. Your max drawdown goes up to 32%. So, your drawdown is higher, your return is lower. It's not as much fun as it was. And about 64% of all months are positive. So now these guys like to play around with the test and the results. So what they did is they tested it on a ton of different universes. Now, here's the part where you're going to want to take notes, okay? Because they took this and they applied it to the constituents of the NASDAQ Biotechnology Index, which has survivorship-free bias. They remove all that stuff all the time, going back over several decades so they could do a thorough test. Now, let's apply friction. Let's use the same rules. We're going to look at the stocks in the biotech industry. I think it's a couple hundred stocks, I think, but those with the biggest one-day volume shocks, right? You're going to want to own those overnight. You're going to close it at the open in the morning. This thing, technical term, kicks butt. They're like Recon Platoon. Remember that movie? 36% per year, 68% positive months. Your max drawdown is still 36%. You have to love volatility to do this, okay? Because it does have an above average volatility. But just using volume shocks, the largest ones, remember, overnight. And that's consistent with a lot of work I've done in biotech as well, Ryan, because when you look at shocks in biotech, they're usually news, right? Or stories or predictions about what the test is going to be.
And then the data for the test. Yep.
Right. And then it overreacts every time, right? What a phase 2 or phase 3 positive result actually means, it doesn't mean approval. It's good news, right? But it's not good news that should 10x the stock, which we see all the time on huge volume stocks, or 2 or 3x. So you get a secondary pop as people see the news for the first time in the morning, but then the smarter money comes in and starts selling this thing. So overnight only, biotech universe, volume shocks can make you an enormous amount of money.
Okay, I am getting, so just to be clear here, first of all, we've mentioned it a bunch. If you want these studies, you actually have to email me. There's no way for me to post a link here. And the only study that Tim has sent me so far is the option skew study.
No, there's a link to the email, Ryan.
There's a link?
No, an attachment in the email.
Yeah, that's the option skew study. And then the link in the email is the other one?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, so I do have both. I apologize. Okay, got it. I'll start sending those out here.
I try not to screw up any more than absolutely necessary, Ryan.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know, Tim. That's good to know, Tim. Lou, 13 doesn't show up until 9. That's always been the case. All right, keep going, Tim.
All right, our next one up is, and this is going to be my favorite one just because it strikes to the heart of what I like to do. The good folks at Tweedy Brown, one of the more fascinating investment firms in the history of Wall Street. These guys started out in the world as Ben Graham's stockbroker. And one of Warren Buffett's first jobs was running stock certificates and checks back and forth between the Tweedy Brown office and Ben Graham's hedge funds office. So the firm's been around a minute or two. They're now a very large value investing firm, very research driven with a quantitative bent. Really like these guys. I worked with Chris Brown years ago on a bunch of projects, including his book. These guys, they're old school. They go all the way back to the beginning of this thing. So they recently introduced a study called the Insider Investment Factor, and they used global data, and they went in and they used insider purchasing and stock buyback data in combination with valuation ratios to see what happened. You all know exactly where I'm going, right? What happened is that when you take valuation and insider buying, you get outstanding performance. When you take insider buying, larger purchases by the top C-suite executives, you get returns on absolute steroids. Okay. You get massive outperformance. So looking at just the study looked at lowest price to book value, which outperforms the market when there's insider all stocks, when there's insider buying, it outperforms the market a little. With C-suite buying, it outperforms the market a lot over the next 12 months. And then you come down and they do price to earnings ratio. They do globally, they use some intrinsic value calculations with insider. And this is just, the returns on this are stupid. They're just ridiculously high because they're able to use international data. But even in just the US, the returns are very high when you use, and our value ranking system, by the way, comes really close to a great composite value ranking that would be similar to the one they used in the study. But when we break this out, and we're going to go just to price to book, because I like price to book. It's what I cut my teeth on. And we look, where are the ones with big insider buying recently? Some pretty cool ones in here, Ryan. You've got Profac Holding, the chairman of the board.
Ticker?
That is ACDC.
Oh,
yeah. In case the stock doesn't work, it's a great rock band.
Yeah, I was going to say, Thunderstruck's one of my favorite songs and guitar riffs of all time. So I'm already a fan.
And look, I mean, the stock's gotten kind of hammered here. It's in the insider buying started back in August, up around $4 by one of their larger outside shareholders. But you've got the executive chairman in there buying stock.
Yep.
These guys they're a fracking company, and they
were buying stock back in May too, Tim.
Yep. They got their.
That was closer to 5 and 6.
Yep. But kicked on earnings. You've got Piper Sandler out there, by the way, who's one of the better research firms on the street. They came out in July and said, hey, we think the price target's $8. So
okay. Not bad. That's a double from where we're at. More, it looks like.
Yeah. And what you've got here is a stock that looks cheap, but the insiders are coming in and saying, oh yeah, guys, it's cheap. It's really cheap. Then we've got Eastern Bank Shares, which is a former thrift conversion disclosure. Just EBC. EBC. Full disclosure, I'm an owner, and it's in several of our portfolios, including Banking at Profits here on Benzinga. Eastern Bank Shares, EBC, up in the Boston area. Been really outstanding management here. They've made some key add-on acquisitions. They've diversified away from being a pure thrift. And you've got the CEO, the chairman of the board, stepping up and buying 1.2 million shares worth of stock back in August. Apple Hospitality REIT, a REIT that I like a lot. It's a hotel REIT. It pays a monthly dividend. APLE, Ryan. And like I said, this is a great yield, and it's a monthly dividend. And again, you've got the chairman of the board coming in and making a large purchase of stock in recent months. So that's just a few right off of that list. I'm looking to hear for anything else. Oh, is that the one I wanted to talk about now? Bear with me one second. Oh, Shenandoah Telecommunications, SHEN. This thing's been seeing a lot of positive insider activity lately. And you've also had the CEO has been a recent buyer of $200,000 worth of stock. So, so pretty good stuff going on in there. And then Sunrise Realty, we will mention that because we've got over $1 million worth of buying at the end of August. That's SUNS. And let me just pull this one up here because we've looked at this one several times. SUNS is trading around 11.25 with a 10% yield. They are, come back here. They're capital solutions. They're focusing on financing multifamily for sale condominiums. It's real estate lending for the most part. It's the Tannenbaum family. These guys have a little bit of experience in real estate. Look, there has not been a better time since, 2010 to be a real estate lender. All right, on commercial real estate. Even if it continues to be bumpy, we're much closer to a bottom than we are to a top. And Class A and trophy properties, which are primarily where you're seeing new loans being made, are outperforming. They're full. Everybody talks about office catastrophe. Class A properties running, close to 90% full, right? With demand and no new construction. It's a fantastic time to be a commercial real estate lender. So, and now it's not just Tim Melvin saying that. You've got the executive chairman, Leonard Tannenbaum, who's been around the real estate game for a minute or two. He's just continuously buying 6 figures worth of stock, going all the way back to March. Every time there's something that looks like a dip, this guy gets his checkbook out.
Okay.
So that's one that, we're pretty excited about that one. And then coming back through on the composite value side, I went ahead and I ran up my own composite value looking for C-suite buying recently. Don't have the capability at this moment in time to do international insider buying. That is something we've been working with and trying to convince the data providers that they don't need my firstborn child in order to give me access to the data. But lots of bank buying in here, okay, that are trading at fairly steep discounts to intrinsic value. So you've got Horizon Bancorp, longtime favorite of mine, HBNC, trading at 84% of insider buying with 84% of intrinsic value with insider buying. Really, sleepy little bank, hasn't done a lot. Decent dividend of 3.9%, and you've got directors, the CEO and the CFO making purchases of stock recently. So, and I know in dollar terms they're not large, but please try to remember this is in Michigan City, Indiana, not this ain't J.P. Morgan, folks. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So the dollar sizes are going to be smaller.
Sure.
But what's some others in it? Lots of business development company, including Carlisle Secured Lending, CGBD, which is a stock that we like and we have liked a lot for over a year. Really conservative loan portfolio, building a straight sideways base since Liberation Day at just a little bit under $14, 11.75% yield. Really went through the portfolio on this one, looking at their exposure to floating rate in case rates get cut. I don't see a dividend cut here. Some BDCs are going to have a problem with that. This one is not one of them. Really clean loan portfolio, not a lot of problems. My only beef with these is their executive chairman owns the Orioles, and he did not get us any good pitching.
I saw that one coming as soon as you said that. I was like, I know where he's going with this one.
So, you've got some just, Employers Holdings Group Insurance, EIG. You've got a little insider buying there by the chief executive officers. I get back to my page here on Pinnacle. Like I said, lots of banks. SNV, Synovus is trading at a pretty steep discount. First Citizens Bank shares here in the Carolinas. Now, this is a $1,900 stock. It's one of, for my money, best managed banks in the country today. They've made some really smart acquisitions. Fair values probably about $2,500 a share.
What's the ticker on this one?
FCNCA.
Okay.
Really well run bank. And I'm just looking down here. Pump, PUMP, which is Pro Petro Holding Company, another fracking company that took a hit on earnings. I've owned this company before, guys. This is a really good company.
I'm this is interesting that we are talking about ticker pump here in this show. You guys ready for this? Are you ready for the pump? That's all I want to know. Good to know that you've owned this one for a while, Tim.
Yes. And then finally, Epsilon Energy, EPSN, is another energy company that I have owned before. So look, what's cheap in the market? Banks and energy. Where are insiders buying? Banks and energy. We call that a clue.
Simply put, that's a clue. And no, it's not Professor Plum in the library with the candlestick. This is something else.
Yes. And Epsilon, by the way, has a 4% dividend yield, located in Houston. They do upstream. They do a little bit of gathering systems. They've got quite a bit of reserves on their properties across the United States. Natural gas gathering is going to be a huge business going forward, because while natural gas is weak in here, LNG demand's not going away. AI-driven demand's not going away. Reshoring demand's not going away. We did not suddenly get better at building nuclear power plants overnight. You're still at a 7 to 10 year best case scenario there. Energy demand is going up from a whole bunch of different sources. We've cut back on renewable. Wasn't going to happen fast enough anyway. So we cut back on renewable. We can't get there on nuclear. The answer is natural gas. And no, they're not going to drill, baby, drill. It isn't going to happen. If it was going to happen, the fracking companies wouldn't be dropping. But the big story here is, energy executives are not going to slice their own throat again. They'll keep production stable, maybe cut it if OPEC raises their production again, to keep cash flows higher. Now, the last time they did drill, baby, drill, they did slice their own throats, and they stayed sliced. A lot of them went bankrupt. The industry really went through an upheaval in 2015, 2016. Memories have not faded. So that's about what I've got. I've got some good options trading stuff for you this week, and the insider buying with valuation. It's a fascinating study, because when you look at insider buying, I'm always curious. I see somebody buying in stock in a situation that's trading at high valuations, and I'm wondering why. Here, I know the stock is cheap. Now I have a confirming factor, because remember, a lot of stocks are cheap for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. They're crappy businesses. Here, I got a guy running it, putting a whole bunch of money on the table saying, nope, stock's cheap. I'm all in because I think it's going to go up 4, 5, 10%. He didn't buy it for a 10% gain, I promise.
Okay.
So that's what I've got. Now you guys, you can bring in 13 because that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy, Tim? It's like I show up, I do all the stuff, I bring on guests. Nobody cares. They're just waiting for 13. They don't care about anybody else. It's actually kind of hilarious.
It's like Johnny Carson. It's you didn't realize you were watching it for Johnny Carson until Johnny was dead. So Ryan, after you die, everybody's going to realize, really, it was Ryan that added all the buzz to that show.
That's perfect.
All along. So
perfect timing.
Got the Johnny Carson effect to look forward to. So there you go, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on this morning. Ryan, I will see you tonight. Guys, we are going to get kind of detailed on how to use just numbers and data instead of opinions, news, and noise to manage your stock portfolio tonight. So if you got time, drop in. Love to have you. I believe it's free.
It is free. I'll go ahead and throw that here in the chat. And Tim, you'll be happy to know that we already have a bunch of reach outs for the presentation, and actually several for the webinar as well. So you continue to hit here. As a reminder, go ahead and email me that, and I can send that along. Already done it a bunch here today. All right, Tim, really good stuff. Have a great day here today, and I'll see you tonight. We're going to have some more fun tonight.
All right, guys. See you tonight.
That is Tim Melvin, folks. Again, I look forward to Wednesdays all the time, and I'll be honest with you, some of these studies, Tim sends them to me, I start reading, I get through like the abstract, and then I get carried away with other work responsibilities, and then I don't read them. This option skew one, this one's going to be good, and he's right, it's heavy on the math, but I still think there are going to be a bunch of really good insights that we can take from that. So really good stuff. Also, the tickers that Tim put me to work today. Tim put me to work today. Here are all of the tickers that Tim talked about. That's a nice readable list. And again, if you need any of those studies, shoot me an email. All right, let's go ahead and bring on the main event. Here comes 13. 13, how you doing this morning?
I'm feeling loved. How about that?
There you go.
I appreciate all the love, guys. But thank you, Tim, for everything, and love to have you here. And are you ready to work some more? Because we got a lot of movers.
Yes, we do. Let's just dive right into them. How about that? Let's just start with the movers right away. All right. All right. Let's flip over here. First one that we have here is going to be ticker GLE. And guess what? Oh, let me get my chart fixed up here. Oh, heavens, come on. Just anything it can do to embarrass me. Anything it can do. That's probably why everyone likes you so much more than me, 13, is because you don't embarrass yourself with Pro. Anyway, GLE here. Stock is up 230%. It was actually above 6 earlier. It's coming in a little bit here. Actually came in off the impulse move, had a secondary move. We're actually beneath VWAP here on this one. Shares are trading higher on this one on no news. No news. So I'm sure you're asking, what does this do? Offers integrated solutions by using ICT solutions to drive business outcomes and innovation. Its service offerings comprise services to telecom operators, including the one-stop shop purchase from telecom license application service to turnkey network startup. That sounds like a whole bunch of jargon here. This thing's running on no news. That's what you really need to know. Float is 10 million shares. The percent of float shorted there, 1.36%, and that has a 1.36 days to cover. On average, the stock trades less than 1 million shares, about 843,000. Today, get ready, folks. Strap in. We've traded just about 91 million. What do you think here, 13? What levels we got?
Well, that's pretty much what I'm going to be going to, because there's no news here. We do have some filings to go through with their dual class share structure they approved back in March. So I don't really think that matters for how short of a time we'll be trading this. But as far as levels go, we are currently beneath VWAP. We're coming down to a resistance area that was or support area that was previously resistance in the pre-market here. But if we lose this level, this is going to be about 245, 250. If we lose this level, we have the 65 EMA beneath that, down at about just shy of $2, 198, 199 is where
this
I have
thing's
it
rolling over as we speak, man.
Yeah, so this is going to be one we're probably just going to have to wait until the open to see if it can find some footing or create a base, and then we can look to the upside. From here, we have the resistance area from earlier this morning. That's going to be around 265, 270. The VWAP above that, and then we can get into the 3 and 340 area, which is the next level of resistance. Don't know how soon that's going to happen. Might be some time in the morning here before we start to see this turn around. But right now, it's on its way down. So not touching this until we get some kind of a base.
Okay.
If I
good stuff. Good stuff there on that. Next one here is going to be CUPR, Cuprina Holdings. Didn't we just talk about this one?
This one had news not that long ago that we traded on. Yes.
Yeah. Wait a sec, though. Also, big time shot. I'm actually going to cover several stocks from our happy hour group because we had a discussion yesterday that was fantastic. Listen to this. One of the happy hour members yesterday, I don't know if he's here in the morning show, sent a message that on August 11th, Bear Cave had pointed to 6 stocks that could potentially be targeted by the pump and dump scheme in the near future. Are y'all ready for these tickers? I'm going to start with the ones that you know from yesterday. QMMM, EPSM, both of those ran crazy yesterday. MIMI, STFS, FLYE, and CUPR. This was a piece of news from August 11th. Here we are on September 10th. CUPR popped in the after hours yesterday, popped again here in the pre-market. Now it has come back and lost VWAP, so careful about that. But these things were mentioned, and we don't know what's going on here. It's just part of the theme. So there you go. There are some more tickers for you to take a look at. One of them's on our list. Yeah, 13.
I imagine read that short report and you'll know why.
And I'll go through it if I can get. I haven't had a chance to actually get the report itself. If I do that, I will share it with the group here. I'll do my best for that. In fact, let me just do a quick. While we're here, let me do a quick look here.
There it is.
Yo, how do I if I pop this link out, can I copy this link? Oh, Erica, let's go. Erica getting it done. Here you go, folks. Here is the URL to that article. I don't think there's a lot of stuff in here, but man, oh man. The Bear Cave has launched a website, Stop NASDAQ China Fraud, to crowdsource evidence. That actually might be worth checking out anyway. Okay, really good stuff there. 13, I'm sorry for breaking up for breaking up the mo here. Tuesday, yesterday, in the morning, right? This is September 9th. Yeah, in the morning, they had exclusive rights to fly to Southeast Asia's first UNIDO/GEF demonstrated medical waste recycling technology. Today, I don't see any fresh news, so this looks like kind of delayed from yesterday morning. The stock did pop in the after hours, popped again here today. Quick look around the horn on CUPR, 12.68% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. Average volume 1.4 million versus the 31.8 that it's done here today. Float is 7.3. What do you think here on CUPR?
Well, this is also one that's in a bit of a decline, but it's not really coming down like the last one we just looked at. This is seemingly trying to form a bit of a base here, though I still think I would prefer not to touch this until we get into the regular session. It's currently being suppressed by a number of EMAs here. We are currently trading beneath the 65 EMA with the 15 and 9 EMAs leading this the way down. It looks like we're about to lose another area of support. This area that is this level that we are down here earlier this morning, 215. We're now testing that again. So I think if we lose 215, probably going to take the next leg down underneath $2 or go right to $2. Beneath $2 is support that I see kicking in. It's going to be that 200 EMA down at 173. By the time the price reaches that, unless it happens really fast, it might be 175, which is another standout area here in the price action this morning. So I think as long as this can show us that there's a base forming here, this might be setting up to turn around. But I haven't, I'm not comfortable with where it's at right now. I need to see this get above some of those smaller EMAs first, and it doesn't look like that's happened yet.
Okay, good stuff. The list is changing as we're speaking here. So here we go. WLDS, wearable devices. This one is flying here. Looks like Jacob's all over this. Wearable devices shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in H1 EPS results. Also, the company announced it secured a patent for gesture and voice control interface device. Actually, my car has that already, interestingly enough. Nonetheless, this stock popping here, we did make it above yesterday's after-hours highs, trading higher on volume here today. Oops. Quick look at the short interest, 2.66% of the float shorted there with 1 day to cover. Comes on an average volume of 943,000. Session volume here is 48 million, floats 2.2. What do you think on wearable devices, WLDS?
I'm not sure which day we traded this earlier this year, but we did trade this earlier this year. It could have been on that patent win. I certainly think that could have been one of the pieces of news, or it could have been some of these other proceeds that they announced here. So I don't remember exactly which day it was. We have traded this before. We were in a pretty ugly decline for a while here, and this one only getting a couple of wicks here and there from when we had news. Now we're trading back up towards the price we were at the beginning of the year. The next area of resistance that I see here, and I didn't cover this one this morning because it wasn't high up the list like it is now, but it looks like 525 might be the next spot here if it can get through 485, which we're at right now. So I think 525 is going to be the next level. Then above that, you have the 200-day EMA, which is at 594. That's going to be the next area of resistance above 525, I think.
Okay, there we go. WLDS, another potential target. Look at this, 500+%.
Well, there it is. There's 525 now.
That's literally happened right away.
Chewing through that. Let's
553 right there. Good Lord.
Let's see 595 now. Here we go.
Okay. Jacob says 525 and done. Ring that register. Jacob, well done here in the Jacob, you're not even going to trade the regular session, are you?
If you can handle this, then he's good to go.
I mean, it sounds like he's already made a whole band on this, at least. Okay. Good stuff there. WLDS.
And there's the 200 EMA. So now we're at 6. So I guess I have to start looking for some new levels. Next level is going to be looks like 7 and then 8.
Okay.
Round levels. And
it's
almost there now. God, this thing. Oh man.
There we go. All right, good stuff there. Next is going to be AEHL. This thing had a massive move already. Now it's on the back side of the move, so maybe it's something that we need to be careful about. But AEHL, this stock was as high as $35. Antelope Enterprise Holdings, what a name. Antelope Enterprise Holdings. This looks like this was yesterday, right? Yes, no, this was Monday, August 18th. This is stale as can be. Anything new here today? No new news on this one. This thing running on no new news. Quick look at the short interest on this one. 2.58% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. Comes on an average volume of 250,000 shares. Today it's already traded 22 million. Float here is 2.58.
Sorry to divert real quick. WLDS, the next level I see is 10. So we'll see if it gets up there because it just absolutely destroyed all the levels I was mentioning earlier. Went right to 8. Now it's backing off. Sorry. What was the one we were just looking at? It was AEHL. Okay. Yeah. No news. They recently had a Bitco agreement, which is basically they signed an agreement saying they're going to create an account so they can buy the Bitcoin that they got a financing agreement for. That was worth 50 million. So I don't think they've they don't have the cash. They're financing this purchase for Bitcoin, and I don't think they have the Bitcoin yet. So this seems like this is more to the like the ones yesterday where they were China pumping it up that had a crypto theme attached to it. This having 2.85 million shares in the float makes this easy to move around. Levels that I see that we are coming up to here, actually we're coming away from now. The next one that's not an EMA or indicator is going to be 1950. We're moving down away from that right now. We've lost the 65 EMA. We're approaching the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, and that value is going to be at 917. So see if we get some support there. After that, this is there's only like one level of support down at 7, and then I think it's back to start for this thing.
Okay, real quickly here. Daniel's saying there's news in agreement with Bitco. All right. AEHL signed strategic agreement with Bitco to advance Bitcoin acquisition and security. Yeah. This news was from August 18th, folks.
Yeah, that's just to create an account and buy Bitcoin. That's literally what the strategic agreement is. Go ahead and open it.
No, I believe you. But I'm being told here by people in the chat that there's new news on this, and I'm not seeing it.
Oh no,
I'm not seeing it. What guys? Got to keep this all straight here, folks. Where is there new news today?
No, there's not.
Okay.
It's just that this is the last big piece of news, and that's all.
I'm taking crazy pills here.
No, have another cup of coffee. You're good.
Joke. That's literally a quote from a movie. Come on. Okay, there's no fresh news on this one here today. Important to keep that in mind. Here it is. AEHL coming back in. We'll see if it finds some support there at the 918 level. Okay, what else you got? Should I just pick things off this list, or should I go down?
Yeah, because there were so many Christmas presents, I didn't have time to open them all. So, WLDS is up almost 650%.
Do we even want to break down the rest of these, or do we just want to keep watching something that's running away from everybody?
Well, some of these that were over 100% are now starting to come back in. Like I was looking at JBDI before I came on, so we could look at that one if you want. That's still over 100%. I haven't looked at that yet. So
yeah. So here, this is kind of what I'm asking. So we had a huge pop here. We have a huge range carved out. The thing is back beneath the VWAP here. Do we want to kind of roll through some of these, or do we just want to watch the pretty candles peg the top here? I don't think there's. I mean, unless you're chasing, I don't think there's a trade here, folks.
No, I was.
This is part of what I was trying to do yesterday on Happy Hour. I want stuff that's actionable.
Well, for this, we'll have to wait for it to come back in. I mean,
exactly.
Some folks already nailed this, hitting those levels that I was pointing out. But this thing hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. So I don't know where the entry is right now. Let's, for me, yes, smoke tuna, exactly. Wait for a base.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think we need to keep watching a stock that's pounding the highs, guys.
No, we can announce it. We can, say, oh, this is great and everything, but we're gonna, look at other stuff while that goes on.
Okay.
And JBDI, I mean, there's a trend line. Do you see it? Not from that big wick, but from the ones after.
From right in here, right?
Yeah, just from the smaller ones. No, not even there. Not even there. Just the smaller ones.
Starting here?
Yeah.
And we are pretty much right at it here. So JBDI. All right. Let's take a look here. No news. Again, no news here. Okay. Look at the short interest here, 1.26% with 2.5 days to cover. Average volume, 143,000, 30.5 million here today, 4 million shares in the float. Here you go.
Yeah. So this is trying to recapture at 65 EMA on the 5-minute right now. If we get this break through the trend line here, we're going to start to see resistance probably as early as 270. Like, I think that might be the earliest we see it, but we could probably go through that pretty easy. I think the thicker part of resistance is not going to show up until about 290 to 295. And that I don't know how easy it is going to be for the price to get through. It depends on the volume at the time. But beyond that, you have the VWAP at 339, 340. So those are the next three areas I'd be keeping an eye on for upside here at JBDI, where you might run into some resistance. That'd be 270, 290, and then 340.
Okay, good stuff. We are at the trend line now. We'll keep an eye on that JBDI. Next here is ASST. This is asset entities. We actually talked about this one, I think, yesterday, the day before. I feel like this was a recent mention. Asset entities. Shares are trading higher after the company announced to stockholders it approved its merger with XIII Enterprises.
Vivek Ramaswamy, however you pronounce his name, that's his company, XIII.
Yeah, he backs that company.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it because it's going to be a public Bitcoin treasury, or is it also moving because it's attached to him? I guess there's also the aspect of short interest, right? The highest in the company's history.
So, so the reason this is going here, Benzinga Pro, thank you very much. This news came out yesterday. They approved the merger with XIII. This paves the way for a Bitcoin treasury company. And so I think you're seeing some buying into that right away. Okay.
So it's more of the crypto angle then.
So that's what it sounds like here.
Okay. And then you also have the short interest, which is driving it even higher. That's 46%.
Yep, 46, exactly. 46.34% here, 2.66 days to cover. Average volume is 4.7, session volume is 4.8, float is 15.
Okay, so do you have a 5-minute chart up? Because this, and then we'll look at CPOP right after this. But here's the kind of thing that I look for when it comes to levels. ASST, yesterday in the after hours, we went up to, what is this, a high of? This was 1020. And we didn't go much higher until the pre-market this morning. Well, once we started coming back in, where did we come down to just about 40 minutes ago? We came down to 1033, just a little bit shy of that 1020 high. So if you draw a line right about there, you can see how that resistance area became support. So now
sorry, help me out with the line again. I've got so much stuff going on. I'm doing my best to keep it straight here.
So just look at the high from the after hours. That's the pre-market.
So right here?
No, the high. Just look at the high. Draw a horizontal line from the high of the after hours.
That 1030. God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing my best here. I'm really frustrated at this. 1028. Is this the high that you have?
Right about there? Yeah. Yeah, so that resistance area that was resistance in the after hours is now support in the pre-market here. We're moved off of that. We're trying to recapture some of these EMAs. We've already gotten past, looks like the 9 and the 15. We're coming up to the 65 next. That's going to be resistance along with some of these other support areas, or the previously support areas, around 1230. So we get through this 1230 area and the 65 EMA, VWAP's next. And that has been keeping the price down. So could see some pretty stiff resistance there at VWAP. We managed to get through it. Maybe we go back up to 1978 as we did this morning.
Okay. All right. ASST, we wanted to do CPOP next.
Yeah.
All right. This is CPOPing right now. We got to have news on this. Pop Culture makes strategic investment in cryptocurrency Bitcoin to accelerate Web3 digital entertainment transformation. So we've seen this story time and time again. Here we go again. This thing's up 73%. Short interest here, 0.76% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover, comes on an average volume of 2.11 million. Today we've traded 1.5. Float on this one much heavier there at about 61 mil though.
We've traded this one several times before. I still have levels up here from last time we did it. And those levels are 220, 215, 280, and 350. And we've already we've already went through one of them. We barely top ticked the other. 276 is the current high of the session, of the pre-market session right now. So just several cents shy of that 280. Coming back in now, so not sure where this finds support, except maybe that 215 area, which was the other area other level we pushed through. If this doesn't hold up, probably come right back down to some of these smaller EMAs.
Okay. We'll see if we end up getting that on CPOP, see if that sets up for another trade. Okay, what do you want next here? I'm not even going to go down the list. I'm just going to ask you.
I don't, whatever you guys want.
Here, there were a couple that were moving earlier here. Rev B is one of them. This actually came up to the VWAP, but couldn't move through it. I'm not even going to really go through the short. It doesn't really seem like you guys care about that. The news here, which is fresh here today, Revelation Biosciences reports Gemini significantly reduced inflammatory activity and restored normal cellular response in stage 3 and 4 CKD patients. So that's what popped this thing earlier. It's actually still holding higher here, but again, I think the VWAP is going to be key. Do you have anything on this one?
For levels, it looks like 3 is the big spot. In the after hours yesterday, you had a pop that took us right to 3, came back in, didn't see that until the pre-market again. When we went as high as 362, so that didn't go anywhere after that. We're currently trying to recapture VWAP, at least on my broker I am, but it looks like it's trying to go higher. And we already did run into the $3 level, just shy of it when we did move for that VWAP a moment ago. So I think if we can get back above VWAP here, or the next time that it happens, 3 is still going to be a big resistance area to keep an eye on. I think 3 is the one we need to get over, and it's the one that stands out the most here to me today.
Okay. SMX, this is one that was actually moving while we were talking to Tim Melvin here. This is another one that we've traded before. 13, perhaps you remember when we traded this last time. Security Matters, ticker SMX, shares are trading higher. The company announced a partnership with A-Star to launch a national plastics passport program. Now, this thing's kind of nasty here, right? This is one of the things that we were talking about in happy hour. How do you avoid these stocks? How do you avoid the stocks that pop and then just immediately give it back? Because this is making bag holders here, and this is not what I want for our community. I don't want people to leave and think, oh my God, I just lost an absolute ton of money on some piece of junk. So how do we filter these out? This was part of the larger, broader discussion. Nonetheless, this ran earlier. That was the news. Short interest, 11.53% here. We've got an average volume of 2.5 million. Float is 1.3 million. You think this gets going again, SMX?
If you could look at a daily chart, I think you can kind of see where the resistance level is, because we already got a hint of that with the price action today. But the daily chart shows that there was a gap late in August that created a bit of a resistance area at 250. So that's kind of where the price was getting rejected at this morning, was 250. You're going to have to zoom in a little bit more. It's like in late August. There you go. There you see it now.
Here's your gap.
Yeah. So that's the resistance area, 250, maybe even you can include the wick if you want. That would take it up to 275, 274. So that's going to be the resistance in this one. And if we can get past that, well, guess what? We have a gap fill that'll take us up to in the 350s, it looks like. So that's what I would watch for here with SMX if this turns around. But right now, like we've been saying before, let's wait for a base to happen here if we're going to take a trade in this at all.
Okay. I'm looking through the list for other ones that I recognize that were moving earlier. Here's another one. Oops, let me go to an intraday chart. Here's TAN-H, although this one's looking kind of rough here. This actually wasn't this one of the mentions in happy hour on one of these stocks that could absolutely go? Could have sworn this was a mention.
It might have.
You got to have that in your notes. I'm almost certain Andy talked about this one.
I don't know if I have it in my notes. We talked about it so much yesterday.
I know, and that's what I'm just trying to keep everything straight here. I'm sorry if I sound frustrated, but the excitement here I actually think is creating a negative for our group. really want to stay on some of these things and make sure that we get all of the information out here. TAN-H, this ran earlier on no news. Looks like just trading activity here. Short interest on this, 3.26% with 1.54 days to cover. On average, it only trades 62,000 shares. Today, we traded 12 million. Float here is 1.3. Do you have anything here on TAN-H?
I feel like the whole move is done. And until this starts showing some signs of coming back up to like 250, I don't know that there's really anything here. VWAP's at $3. I really don't know what to make of this one. It looks like the whole move has already been put in. We're back to where we kind of started this morning. So if it starts to show signs of recapturing the 65 EMA and some of the smaller EMAs, then maybe there's a trade here. It's got to get back above like 250 and 260, I think. For this to get going again. That was a resistance area on its way back down. I'm sorry, the sport turning into resistance on the way back down. So if we can turn around here, that's going to be one of the big levels to get back over on its way up to VWAP.
Okay. Here, Smoke Tuna says, don't chase things that are just popping. It's dangerous and you'll lose your focus. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Look at the chart we're looking at. Look at the chart we're looking at. This is what every single one of these stocks that we're looking at today could do. Okay. So don't be in it when that wick there that you see. Don't be up there in that wick.
Yeah, don't be in this area.
And
like I was saying, I think I know a lot of stuff is moving. I really think that the overexcitement is causing us to be sloppy. I'm going to rein that in. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm going to rein in some of this extreme excitement. That is going to cause us to make mistakes. Another one that was moving here today, very similar to TAN-H, PMVP. So this also popped above 3, huge wick, actually in 2 price candles, almost round tripped the entire move here. Let's see if this is the same thing. This actually had news here today. PMV Pharmaceuticals announces promising drug with a whole bunch of letters, monotherapy interim data for Pinnacle phase 2 trial across multiple solid tumors. So we're getting some good news here on a clinical trial. It plans to submit an NDA for ovarian cancer for this for platinum-resistant and refractive ovarian cancer by the end of Q1. That's not till 2027, so that's a ways off. Anyway, here is the catalyst that popped this stock earlier today, also carved out a huge range. Only 1.79% of the float shorted here with 3.86 days to cover. On average, stock's a ghost town. 370,000 shares today. It's done 21 million. The float on this one's pretty thick, though. 45 million shares in this one. What do you think?
This one, it's got more than just one drug in the pipeline here. And this current drug that they're talking about, it is in the pivotal phase 2, but they also have it in another study in phase 1. And then they're currently going through another study with lead optimization. So that's a ways away for that. But they appear to have plenty of cash for at least 2 quarters and enough short-term investments to, that they could liquidate into cash that could extend that runway even further. So not seeing a need for them to raise capital anytime soon. Looking at the chart, let me just move over to that real fast here. This looks a lot like some of the ones we've been trading today, or that we've been looking at today. Might be putting in a base. We're right around that 65 EMA. So let's see a recapture of some of these other levels here. Looks like 190 is going to have to be one of the earlier ones. $2 looks like a great spot too. When we get above $2, the only thing standing in our way after that would be VWAP, and then some of these previous levels like 230, 260, and then the 3 and 316 high.
Okay. Good stuff there, PVMP. Now, another one that the chat was mentioning here, this is RBNE. This is Robin Energy. Interestingly enough, this fits in the energy theme that Tim Melvin was talking about. Robin Energy completes its initial $5 million Bitcoin allocation via Anchorage Digital as part of a new treasury strategy. So we are getting another PR here on this. Let's see if I can load the news feed here. Here we go. Announces a initial Bitcoin allocation. All right. So Robin Energy, this is fresh as of just 15 minutes ago. Looks like it popped and came back in. Quick look at the short interest on this name. 6.96% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. On average, it trades 3.4 million shares. Today, we've traded 14, floats 4.7. What do you think here?
Hold on a second. Let's look at it real quick because I was getting distracted by another one. So this one lost its view up just a moment ago, coming in a little bit further. Might get support around 330 if it goes a little bit lower. It would have to, because if it goes lower than that, it's going to look pretty ugly, and I'm not sure I'd want to be messing with this. Let me look at some other things here about this company. So you said this has a float of 4.7 almost. They are doing a 5 million Bitcoin allocation.
Yep. Market cap's only 11 million.
And it doesn't look like they've got anything in the way of cash. Where's that cash coming from?
And that's, yep, it doesn't look like they have it. And here we are, stocks coming in. We've seen that quite a bit. All right, we're open.
All right, let's go.
I tried to be as slow and tactical as I could there.
Let's look and see what some of these other movers are doing. I know that we were looking at Wilds and thinking this might get going here. Looks like it is starting to take off. Wow, what a move here in WLDS.
Let me bring that up here real quick.
What a move. Great stuff there in WLDS. It looks like it's about to, or it looked like it was about to halt there for a second. Great stuff. I saw that some folks were looking at WLDS because it was looking like it was trying to turn around here. We had some wicks on the bottom indicating that there was a base trying to be put in. And now we're in a halt. Perfect. This, now
okay, I'm not in this one, just to be clear.
This one, we're probably going to go up to 9, and there might start to be some resistance there. But it looks like this has a setup where it's trying to push further into the 10 handle, if not 11. So we'll see if this ends up happening here out of the gate with WLDS. Just be careful with all of these that we're trading here today. Looking at some of the other ones now, AEHL, that's going lower. GLE, that is a halt to the upside. It looks like that one's trying to turn around. It's halted as it recaptured its 65 EMA. Keep an eye on that one for when it unhalts. CUPR, here we go down to the 200 EMA. If we don't get support here, then we're going to, and we lose this level. I think the next area that it could fall to is going to be about 155 and then 130. That would be the next downside levels. JBDI, we got another rejection at that trend line just about 15 minutes before we opened. Now we're getting support from the 200 EMA. Keep an eye on that trend line and the 65 EMA. They're both right in the same area right now. If this turns around and starts to move up, that's gonna be the breakout spot right about at 245.
Okay.
Looks like ASST is also trying to get going here. It looks like it needs more volume, having a hard time recapturing VWAP and the 65 EMA. CPOP might be putting in a base, not sure yet, having a hard time getting back above the VWAP. 215 is also the level that we were looking at as the next level has to get above, aside from VWAP. So still getting a rejection here. Not sure if we're getting a turnaround yet. I think 175 is going to be the line in the sand for this one. If we lose that, probably might get even uglier and take us right back down to start again.
Okay, seen some Oracle calls getting bought right out of the open here. That might be a gap and go on Oracle.
SMX, that's got some support from the 65 EMA. Looks like this is starting to turn around. Not really getting a lot of volume, but it's moving up nonetheless. Now there is a large seller in the way at 180, so that might be the spot where it gets rejected if it does move up more from here.
Let's take a look at SMX.
And also keep an eye on RBNE because that looks like this is trying to turn around as well. Still beneath VWAP, but it looks like it's the current candle is trying to reverse. So 3 halts right now, folks. AEHL to the downside, GLE to the upside, and WLDS to the upside.
Okay. Here's your RBNE chart. This looks like this is settling out. All right. 13. If we are in several halts right now, I'm actually going to try and go to the washroom. I'll be right back.
All right. Get it done, boss. All right. So let's see. SNTG on the move again. I'll take a look at that while we wait for some of these halts to stay halted. And what's going on here with this one? Okay. So we have a big pop out of the gate. This is continuing to go up. We've traded this one before. I know that because I have levels here. We just went up, and we're probably going to halt here on that move. We just went up to the highs from yesterday, SNTG. The high from yesterday there was 669. Now we are trading at 672. So we could see a little bit of a pull here. But if we do get that, we're going to want to see. I think we're going to want to see some of these levels in this above the $6 handle hold up. I think about 625 would be a good one. If we lose that, then I see some support down around 580. But so far, it looks like we're not coming in yet. But this thing is starting to look really spready. 20-cent spread I can see right now. I might continue to grow here. 684 current high SNTG. If you managed to capture this one before it took off, well done on your pickup. All right, what else? SMX pushing 165. You're right. You're right. It certainly is. Trying to get back above these levels, but I think this was the one I just mentioned where we want to see this get above. What is it? $2 is what I said. I'm gonna get these all mixed up because of how many are running. So I apologize if I get it screwed up somewhere. PMPB, nothing yet. SMX currently above VWAP. Hey, there he is. Rocket looking good. Yeah, it certainly is. Where are we at with that today? Are we still over $20? Right, to almost $22. Nice. This thing is on fire.
It actually did print 22 earlier too.
Nice. And how's LDI looking? Since we're
we didn't have time, but LDI was actually on the movers list when we first started breaking that down. Again, there was a lot on there, so we couldn't really cover it. It did pop here in the pre-market, but looks like we got some profit taking going on.
All right, and SMX looks like this is starting to bubble a little bit. We need to see an expansion of volume in order to get through some of these levels. This is the one that has the resistance at 280 because there's a large seller there. So if the volume starts to expand, we might be able to take that seller up at 280. That's the next area with a big question mark of whether or not we can get to that seller. Wild is open. Instead of going up, this opened in the middle of the candle and it's halted down. GLE, on the other hand, this is trying to go higher. This unhalted. It did print a little bit higher. Now it's come back down to where it the last candle closed. Currently getting support from VWAP. We'll see if it can hold too. And looks like a lot of these are starting to get a little weak here. JBDI, that had a pop up to the trend line again, came back down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. So that continues to get rejected. ASST, this one's trying to push higher. Might find some resistance around 1345.
WLDS halted to the downside.
Yeah, that's halted to the downside. AEHL, this is also open and going lower.
Mimi is being mentioned here. That was from that article that I gave you guys.
Yep. That's going. $13 is the current high. Yep.
Can't chase the move though. Not in it early enough.
Don't buy it here, folks. Don't buy it here. This is how people get hurt. This isn't a very old company. Been around. It's not even a year old. 1345. I think the Mimi is one you're going to have to wait on.
Yep.
For an entry. Meanwhile, SMX, this is still trying to push higher. Still looking for that 180 print and higher if it can get that seller. RBNE, this is starting to move some more. Just went above VWAP, trying to hold above VWAP. This could get going if we can get above 540, 550.
There it goes. Boy, that just ran away. I'm too slow on all of these. Man, oh man. Guys, don't chase. Just don't chase this. I'm trying to. Made no trades here today. ASST, Tuna, you think this is going to go here?
It looks like it's getting ready to. It really does. It's holding up the VWAP and the 65 EMA and the other EMAs. It looks like this is getting ready to make a move. Just need to get a little bit more volume expansion, and this thing could push up into the 13 handle.
It's starting to go.
It's certainly trying. Yep. I think
we'll
the volume
ASST has the setup. Thank you, Tuna. Yep. Thank you, Tuna. Setup. We're not following something that's going, and here it goes.
Yep. 1250 right now, the current resistance, but we need, if it goes through that, we can get the $13.
Looks like it pulled a little bit there, but that 1310 VWAP, that's still, what do you think, 13? Is that still the target here? That 1310 VWAP sure feels like that to me.
You have VWAP at 1310. I'm looking at 13 as a resistance level that was previously support. My VWAP is we're already above my VWAP. My VWAP is at 1209.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll see if we get up towards 13 there.
Yep.
The price level.
Looks like they just brought a large seller in at 1239. So if we take that out, we might get our 13 print.
Okay, let's see if we get up there. Here's ASST. Smoke Tuna, good call on this so far.
Yep. Looks like they took a little bit of that, but pulled it back down. Still beneath 1240.
Okay, we'll see on ASST. Let's see if we take off. RBNE is at the top of the list. Halted to the downside, looks like.
Yeah, it looks like WLDS is not. I mean, I don't see that it's halted. It looks like it is, but it doesn't say that it is.
APLD here. We're getting asked here if we have some levels here for APLD.
Sure.
This did pop out of the open.
I'll look at that real quick. Just want to mention GLE. This is starting to move again. We're above some of these smaller EMAs, the 9 and the 15. We're also above VWAP. Coming up to some resistance, which to me looks like it's going to be $3 with this one as well. And then after that, you have got 340, 375, and $4 is the next resistance levels. All right, so APLD, that's next. Let me take a look at that. APLD. Is there news or? So there's leveraged ETFs for this one now, and NBIS and Joby and NVTS, Pony, and Voyager.
I noticed NBIS got sunk here in the pre-market. Okay, sorry, and I'm trying to go back to this here. I take full responsibility. I am not doing a good job today, and I'm sorry about that. What are some thoughts on some resistance levels here for APLD? Let me take a look. I'll try and get you one. By the way, GLE is going to halt there.
Yep.
Next spot here on APLD, probably this high, right? I got to think this, probably the 1675 and then the 1750-ish high.
It's going to be the trend line. And you can start that trend line from June of 2024 and draw it up through
Let me do that real quick.
The high of this year's June.
Gotcha.
6th.
I think I got you here.
Yeah.
June of 2024, which is right in here. No.
You can't see it. There you go.
This it?
June. Yeah.
June of 2020. There. Okay, it's July, but whatever. And then right through all these highs, and then there's our trend line. Okay, so that's our target. Let's take a look at that at the 5, and I'll see if I can estimate that for you. 1771. At least in the ballpark there, 13?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Yep, I think it's going to be that trend line as the next big resistance area. There might be some like around 16 or 17, but I think the big one's going to be that trend line because it's the price action. The price action loves this trend line. Well, it probbe hates it, but it loves it.
It can't get over it, but it likes to interact.
It can't get over it. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and go through. I'm just going to go through the list here.
Okay, so real quick, because we've got some more halts now. Mimi halted to the upside. SNTG halted to the downside. RBNE, this is also halted to the downside. Meanwhile, we have SMX that is on its way right now. We're getting through that 180 spot that we were talking about earlier. WLDS looks like this came close to my VWAP down at $5 and reversed. Now that's in a halt as well. CUPR, that's in a halt to the downside after losing the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. GLD is in a halt to the upside after getting over VWAP and the smaller EMAs. We have looks like $3 coming up next as resistance, followed by 340. AEHL, this looks like this is trying to reverse here. This is halted with a green candle. So out of the halt, this may try to recapture its 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Lots of halts right now. 6 by my count.
Yeah.
And Mimi is open.
Okay. Tell you what, the halt tool is actually also struggling to keep up here, at least right around the open, just because there's so much action.
Yeah. And hey, Pretty Panda, I remember that, but I don't want to remember it at the same time. These are great days, but this also are concerning days because they can signal a topping out of the market when we get these crazy moves in multiple stocks that have no business being up here. ASST looks like this is trying to make a new session high.
Just pulled a little bit there too.
Mm-hmm. Rev B also, I mean, if volume can step into Rev B, this looks like it could try.
Now, Rev B already moved today. Don't forget.
But it's been, look at the bottoming action. It's been putting in down around 250, 260. So that's been happening pretty frequently. And if we can just get past VWAP, I feel like this might trade a lot better. But the volume just is not there for this one right now. But it's got a bit of a setup. So volume can.
And guys, ASST, that's kind of a nasty knife there. Be careful.
Oh, it's getting uglier too, coming down to some of the support.
Sure
areas.
is. $11. Do we think that's a support? $11. This is ugly.
I would say
it's going to halt at 10.99 to the downside.
Yeah, I would say if not 10.33, then the 200 EMA on the 5-minute.
This is my biggest fear. As we were just we're spread so thin, and we're looking at so many things that a big knife like this wipes it out. I'm not in a ASST.
Our BNE, this is trying to move up to its VWAP, and this is something we mention all the time when it comes to these. These are junk names. We're day trades only. Do not hold. And if we're going to trade these, we got to be in, get our money, and get out because we don't want to stick around for the downside.
Yep. Don't be afraid to take gains if you get them, especially on something that is known, volatile, and tough. RBNE through the VWAP. Yeah, we saw it at the same time there.
Yep. Oh, this is a good one.
I don't have a position on this one, unfortunately.
No, I didn't take this either.
Yep.
Just like in the price action. Just like in the price action. Waiting for WLDS to unhalt because I think if this one could be a pretty good one here. I think. So let's see what we end up getting out of the halt here with WLDS.
Okay. RBNE pulling off that high, actually back through the VWAP to the downside now on RBNE. I am seeing NVIDIA calls flood in here. NVIDIA is just pushing the highs. How's the Qs sold off, but actually look like they're trying to bounce right now. NVIDIA call flow moving higher. Did Oracle get sold or did that keep going? Let me take a look. Or did that get sold? That kept going. Nobody wants to sell anything anymore. Oracle here, nice gap and go play. We actually talked about that prior to the open. RBNE back to its VWAP here, but struggling to recapture it. And your GLE is open and looks like it went to the downside.
And halted.
Did it halt again?
Yeah.
God.
Crazy stuff with these folks. You have to anticipate it.
Big bear hug. Good job in your core weave 20%.
Yes. Oh, nice.
I'm especially big bear hug. I think I'm the most impressed with your ability to shut out the noise and not go after the crazy stuff and instead go after core weave, which you booked a nice 20% on. I think I like that. Core weave, Kevin saying core weave will go back to the all-time highs. It's 90% of NVIDIA's portfolio. RBNE still battling at that VWAP, but really can't get above it. GLE is, in fact, halted here, 224 to the downside. Boy, even on that one, you had to be quick, 13.
Yeah, and we still have plenty of time before volume is going to dry up. So it's just a question of which one is actually going to make the move. So it looks like, here we go, WLDS is open now, and this looks like we went higher than the last candle. It looks like it's trying to push up to 825. We'll see if it can do that. Not liking the way the MACD looks, but hopefully it invalidates some of this curling over that it's doing here by pressing higher into the 8 handle.
And RBNE knifing now away from that VWAP.
Here we go. WLDS. Let's see 8.
Do you have this one?
No. I traded this one out of the gate, and I haven't been back in it now. Let's
okay.
halt again.
I too am not in this one.
Nope. So we're above 8 now. Next spot we're going to want to see. It looks like 925.
Robert, good to see you. Woke up to 90% gains, approaching 6 figures in my account. That is worth a register ring, a Chewbacca, and guess what? You have officially leveled up.
All right. Well,
Nice job, Robert. Good morning. Good to see you.
Yep. Good to see you, Robert. 888 was the high on this candle for WLDS. Not quite to the 925 that we were looking for. Now we're pulling.
Let me actually, with all this action, I didn't even check in on Rocket. The trailer on those calls, oh my gosh, they are in a 7. Just as a reminder, the calls that I'm talking about here, we paid $150 for them. They are 705 bid.
Wow.
Oh man, I can't wait to see Felicia in person. I owe that lady some drinks. I don't even know what else to say. Like, I owe that lady some drinks.
You're going to have to buy the bar.
Man, someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey.
CUPR, this is trying to turn around here. It looks like it might go into a halt right now. Yes, just halted.
CUPR is halted?
Just halted.
That was another one from that bear cave list.
Yep. WLDS not done yet. Still looking to push further into the 8, it seems.
Kyle, did you actually wake up 700% on your NVIDIA calls? Because I'm sorry, buddy, that is absolutely worth a ring. Good morning here for Kyle. We'll take that.
Oh, I need to look at the SPY because I was talking about how we were going to go higher yesterday with that double inside candle. And sure enough, we have. New all-time highs. I was saying it yesterday. We're going to make new all-time highs tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, you did. You know what, 13? One up specifically for you, because sometimes, I ask you specifically, hey, what do you think it's going to do tomorrow? And you say, I don't really know. And then when you have a feeling, you give it, and look what happened.
Well,
Level up 13.
I have still the feeling like this could come back in and fill the gap to the downside. I don't want to leave that off the table. Maybe we don't get that today. Maybe that's something that happens tomorrow with CPI, but I still feel like we're going to have to come back in again before we go higher. You know what I mean? So we'll see if we end up getting that. But yeah, this is looking for new all-time highs today. So we still got that.
PTNM, I think this is one of the movers that we mentioned. There were so many. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. This now actually at that pre-market high. I almost wonder if this is going to pop. No position for me on this one. RBNE came in so far and held 4.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's going to get back to
PTNM. That's the 775 is a breakout spot.
Yeah, RBNE. So let me go back to this PTNM. Like on a daily or on that intraday 5, or what are we thinking?
On that 5, yeah, on that 5-minute chart.
RBNE back up towards the highs. That thing's been crazy.
It looks like it wants to take 775 and go. And if it does, where does this go to if it does? Looks like it could go to 9.
The big stocks that aren't just like super thin junk, they're in. Apple's in. Amazon pounding the lows. Even Costco's reversed. Tesla down near yesterday's price, 347.
Okay, give us that gap fill then. And I was just talking about. Perfect.
Yeah.
SMX. This might be getting going here for another push up.
Which one? SMX.
SMX. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's holding the VWAP. A little bit more volume expansion. I think we're coming back up to test that 180 spot again.
RBNE coming to its VWAP here. Really need to see this thing try and take out its VWAP. There, it actually took it. Maybe it's going higher finally now. RBNE, still nice. No position for me. Did not buy the pullback. Don't feel good about buying these breaks up.
Yeah.
And back to the VWAP, and now beneath the VWAP. This is why I don't want to chase there. In fact, you should be using these pops. So Tuna often talks about loading when we come in or at a support area. When we all do, but Tuna really kind of helps Joe and I remind people of that. You should be using these VWAP, these moves back to the VWAP to liquidate at least partial of your position and get some of that money booked. Instead of being like, okay, it took out VWAP, it might go higher now, and then buy it only to have it pull back. This is what we want to avoid. So I think the strategy here is still looking for these on the support levels, tempering your expectations if it starts to run away from you, and not putting yourself in a position where you're just immediately taking losses because things are pulling back.
Mimi, M-I-M-I, that's halted the upside after following a neutral candle that was underneath the VWAP. Now it's halted above VWAP. So maybe this has a nice move coming out of the halt. RBNE, this is looking like it's going to go here, looking for 540,
Yep.
I think. If we can get past this 475, I think 540 is next.
Cut.
ASST, this is still halted. I wonder if there's something else going on with this. If this unhalts,
Yeah, the GLE one is still halted too, but although I didn't recognize what time that halt came.
if ASST unhalts and it can hold up above 1050, that it might turn around. Something to watch for. WLDS, that hasn't broken down, but it hasn't gone higher than 9. Still think this actually looks kind of interesting. This could
WLDS.
this could push into 10 again. I think if the volume continues to expand the way it is, and it moves back up to 9, it looks like it could do it. We just need that element of volume, and we're through.
Cut.
It doesn't look like we're getting it right now.
Oh, you know what? Hang on one sec. BRB.
All right. CUPR, that's back above its 200 EMA. So this is turning around, it looks like. Resistance for this one is going to be at, looks like we got 210 is one of the earlier resistance areas. Even thicker resistance as you go further into the 2 handle. Then you have the 65 EMA at 223. And then VWAP at 245.
My air conditioning kicked on. I had to get rid of it there. RBNE still struggling with that VWAP area. No entry for me yet.
Yep. Yeah, if you get that, it's just right there in front of your face. If it
and it keeps pulling. That's the thing. It keeps pulling off of that spot. There's another one. Yank back down to a low 4 area. Here's SMX.
Looks like AEHL is finally open.
ASST is open.
That just went down to the 200 EMA and reversed after printing 939. Now it's filling the gap.
Yep.
And we'll see if it continues once it hits 11 or if it reverses. That's where the gap fills, is right about $11.
Tuna saying it's trying to push here. Tuna, you're at the entry there down at that $10 level, that 992 area. By the way, whoever was trading CoreWeave here, more calls. CoreWeave still at the highs after that move.
Yeah, it looks like there's just so many things to trade. It doesn't seem like there's concentration in one or the other. It's just like as soon as one starts moving, it's like, oh, let's go to that one. ASST, we just barely filled that gap there. So let's see if we can get a continuation of this upside or if it's just going to reject. Let's see, that was what, 1096. We were looking for 11. There's 11. All right.
Sorry, which one were you looking at?
ASST.
ASST. Perfect. RBNE still pulled back down to the 4.
All right. So that was nice movement. ASST there. WLDS.
RBNE pulling into a 3 handle and a nasty knife. This is what I talked about, trying to avoid.
Yeah, it looks like WLDS is trying to go higher, but sellers keep trying to push it down too. Still needs to get above 9. Looks like AEHL is trying to turn around as well, but I don't know. Volume's not looking fantastic. It does look like some of these are trying to turn around. Just keep in mind, you know, what we've already seen today. As soon as they start turning around, we're like, oh yeah, here we go, and then they pull.
I was just going to say, what time is it? And I look down and it's like barely even 10 o'clock Eastern. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, well, there's been a lot of action already here today. And in fact, RBNE, after this pull here, this actually looks like it's trying to bounce. I wonder if we get some more buying volume in this name.
I'm not liking those upper shadows. So
yeah, neither am I. I don't like this at all on RBNE, but the last time it did this, it popped huge right up to that. What was that? What was the top of that wick? 450-ish? And that's actually above VWAP too. So I'm almost wondering if there's a return to the VWAP here.
Yeah. So I think if we lose 350, that's going to just mean that the upper shadows were the right signal. We're going to
I think you might be right on that. We'll see if we retake 4 here in the meantime.
Yeah, I want to see this candle, recapture VWAP. I think that's going to be the saving grace here at the moment.
Okay, and how much time do we have left in this candle? What, 2 minutes? Because we're looking at the 5 minute, 1 minute. Okay, okay.
Yep. So looking to see if SMX is going to get some volume expansion so that can resolve higher. Rev B trying to get up to its VWAP. There's a seller in the way at 293. This needs more volume.
You guys are mentioning that ASST got halted.
Yep, it's halted. It's halted right at the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. So we did get pushed further into 11. This is a good move. Let's see if it can get above 1250. I think that's the next big resistance area beyond the 65 EMA and the VWAP.
Okay. And then GLE, that other stock that was in a halt, that was that China garbage, right? That thing opened and went lower out of 2 halts.
Yeah, this is the one with the dual class share structure that had no news. Yeah, that's what this one is.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so let's try and make this a little bit easier. Can we scratch GLE off the list here? Because I feel like it's already kind of run its course. No, I guess you're right. Maybe we are at pre-market levels. Maybe it does go again. Maybe we can't scratch it yet. I'm just trying to clean up the board a little. 13. I'm sorry, dude.
That's all right. I would say if this loses $1, yeah, we're
okay.
Moving on for
okay.
Sure.
So at least we have a line in the sand here on that.
CUPR. This is on a bit of a recovery here. Looks like 215 is coming.
At the top of the scanner list too on CUPR. I don't feel good about this one. Boy, I haven't felt good about a couple of these.
It's going to halt. Oh, no, maybe not. It was starting to. There's a seller in the way at $2. Maybe it halts now. Nope. It keep starting. It looks like it keeps starting to, and then it doesn't. Maybe this one.
Maybe we should just wait.
Yeah. And yes.
Let's see what else is going
on. Halted now,
here.
Finally. So. Yeah, and the WLDS. Look at this thing. It's still going sideways. Hasn't resolved higher yet. But man, it does look like it wants to. But the MACD indicates to me that this is probably going to roll over. All right.
WLDS might come into 619 for a bounce. Retro saying sneak up there in SMX. So I'm just trying to stay on these here.
Yeah, SMX looks like, if we can get some more volume, this looks like it's got a better setup than some of these other ones.
All that glitters is saying WLDS, which is the one that we were just taking a look at, has the same pattern as RBNE. So that's a no buy then, right?
I don't necessarily think it's got the same. They look similar, but the thing about RBNE is that it's got those clear upper shadows getting injected at VWAP.
But doesn't that on LDS doesn't it have upper shadows as well? I feel like.
Hold on. I thought you were talking about. WLDS. No, this one's above VWAP, and it's not being rejected by VWAP. It's got one upper shadow here, followed by a couple of or several, I guess you can call them hanging men or hammers, whatever you want to, but it's similar, but I don't think it's the same. This WLDS looks better to me than RBNE.
Okay.
Look, see how you're getting some the wicks on the bottom here for WLDS.
Yep, but
on RBNE you have the on the top.
Yeah, gotcha. I still see some wicks on the top on WLDS, but they're at different levels. But you're right there on the RBNE. Now this does look like it's holding the 9 EMA. They
both look like they're going to roll over. The MACDs look similar to me. That's what looks similar, and that's kind of where I'm wondering. Well, maybe neither one of these are particularly that great right now. If they're indicating that they're about to roll over. So I'm going to look and see if there's something else that looks good. ASST is in a halt. It's still in the same halt. So we should see that on halt at some point in a little bit. GLE, no. I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything that looks decent,
Yeah. Okay. ASST opened. I don't know if there's a setup either. That's what I'm trying to find. All right. I'm trying to find setups as opposed to trying to find things to chase here. The whole 9 year. I'm trying to find setups.
ASST, large seller in the way at 12. If we get rid of him, I think we're gonna. It could put in some pretty good moves. Big seller.
1284 is what I have for the VWAP there, by the way.
So couldn't get rid of that guy at 12. Not yet, anyway.
Jane says she's waiting for the breakout on WLDS and RBNE. Oh, sorry, that's not Jane. That's the whole 9 yards. Apologize. Actually, WLDS and RBNE at the top of the list here on the scanner, although it does look like WLDS has kind of turned to selling volume. RBNE too, actually.
They both have that very similar MACD where it looks like the momentum is swinging the other way. So I wouldn't be surprised if both of these sold off. They don't look particularly great to me, but I think WLDS looks better than RBNE.
Okay. Critical Squid, is there any way to get info on what's going on during halts, or is there higher level market data that's needed? So that's been a common question here back and forth. I don't know that there's any like really good way to check what's going on during a halt. I mean, the stock is halted after all.
ASST over 12 now. It took out that seller at 12. It's getting a bit of a pull now. Now it's back under 12. There was another one that I saw that looked like it was about to go. SMX, keep an eye on that one. That looks like it's trying to get back up to 2. There's a big seller at 2. And I'm telling you right now, with a lot of these that I'm seeing, the volume is just really evacuating a lot of these names.
Reaching financial freedom. Don't force the setups. Exactly. We're going to be patient and try and look for the setups. We don't want to force them.
Yeah, maybe 10H has something going on here. That's getting above some of these moving averages. But look at the volume. The volume just is crap. So
this one's really thin, though, isn't it? I feel like that could pick up. 10H, yeah. I mean, let's see here.
I have no open positions.
1.3 million in the float.
I have no open positions. I'm not really liking the way a lot of these are looking. It looks like CUPR is getting going here, right up to that 65 EMA. VWAP's next at 235. It's just that, a lot of these that we were trading this morning, they don't have the same volume anymore, and it just doesn't really appeal to me that much. They got to have that volume, or else we're not going to get the trades we're looking for.
Yeah.
So no position in anything right now. I need to see more volume, and I might be finished for the morning. Ooh, RBNE. That's
hey, what a call, 13. You're gonna get a 1-up for that one, because you had said verbatim it looks like this is going to sell off. 3 tests coming here. I hope nobody got hurt.
Upper shadows.
Upper shadows told the story.
Yeah. Let's see if WLDS follows suit, because that one also wasn't looking great.
Tesla's
and there it goes, and there it just started to pull.
Did it really?
Yes, it did. Now it's coming down to VWAP.
Dude,
they both
you get another 1-up for that.
They both didn't look great. The MACD, I think, was kind of telling you, but I think with the RBNE, it really kind of let you know with the upper shadows. All right, so let's.
Okay, so now we can. Now that it's calmed down a little bit, now we can focus on looking for setups. Yeah. MWYN WIS. I don't see it on the scanner. Let me type it in manually here. Oh, good one here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This looks it looked like it was about to go into a halt. So resistance at 2. There's a large seller there at 2. If we take him out, then it looks like 250 is the next spot, or we might run into resistance.
No position for me on this one either. Nope. That volume candle is huge, though, in MWYN. Wiss, that was a good call. In fact, you will get a 1-up too.
Yep, that was a nice move through the 65 EMA. We want to see that EMA hold up. Let's just get a move over 2 here. Let's take the seller out.
Smoke Tuna says WLDS will go to 5 or lower.
All right, there we go. Through 2 on MWYN. I think I'd look for 250.
That's VWAP. That's what I have for VWAP, 250.
Okay, and then that would probably be the next area to watch for if this continues upwards. We got through that $2 spot, so I don't know how you're trading it, but I think I'd pay myself a little bit on the way up to 250. I don't know how high this goes.
Yeah,
just started looking at it.
ASST making another base to break 12 plus. Yeah, and folks, smash up the like. Thank you, producer, for that. Appreciate that. Smash up the like. Got a whole lot of people here today. Please smash up that like, especially you YouTube folks, you 500 plus YouTube folks. Let's get some likes in here from a man 13 who's doing his absolute best to keep people protected. Well, we both are, but a lot of stuff going on. We're doing our best to break it down in real time.
I should probably breathe more. I mean, this has been a breathtaking morning. I've been
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. By the way, MWYN pulling a little bit there.
I mean, I'm just like, is this going to move? Is it not? And I don't do anything. I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to breathe still. So I have to remind myself of that. RBNE continuing lower, looking to test $3. I think it actually did give a test. No, 296 is the low in this candle. So
the whole 9 yards. Let me shout this out here real quick, because with a lot of the back and forth and a lot of the frustration that's going on with the constant moving around, the whole 9 yards says, man, glad I waited for a move before entering some of those trades. Yeah. It sounds like you are that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. I know we're trying to cover everything here. Makes me happy that you're utilizing patience and keeping yourself protected. That's awesome.
RBNE and WLDS going lower.
Retro said he smashed the like so hard that he now needs a new mouse. That's the type of energy I need here. If you haven't broken your mouse smashing that like button, what are you waiting for?
Oh. Well,
anyway, ASST rolled over here. Just lost $1 fast.
Yep, we are seeing volume leave these names pretty quickly. I think the only ones we're going to really want to focus on are the ones that are forming a base after coming in. Those are the only ones that I think would be attractive to me, and I'm not even sure I want to trade those at the moment. We've got 20 minutes left before the 10:30 time when we watch volume leave the market, or when volume really leaves the market. Looks like every single one of these names that we were trading is coming in. Every single one of them.
Okay.
AAPL lower. GLE halted the downside. CUPR. Interestingly, this is halted to the upside, but I bet as soon as it unhalts, we might see some selling. WLDS. This is trying to prevent itself from going lower, but it's now beneath VWAP. I think if it can't get above VWAP, we're going to get a rejection that's going to send it lower, probably down to around 360. JBDI has pretty much done nothing all morning. ASST, as you pointed out, halted the downside. CPOP looks like this is trying to establish a base. So maybe CPOP has something coming later on this morning, or maybe the afternoon. Rev B, not doing anything right now, but go lower. SMX, lower. TANH, lower, down to VWAP at this point. PMVP, new session lows, approaching pre-market lows of 128.
Okay, so it looks like we're on the backside of a lot of these moves.
Yep.
And it seems to me like the thing to do here is just kind of wait until one of these shows some strength.
Or
the only one I see moving to the upside still is this MWYN, but at this point, I think it's moved too quick to chase it.
Or pour yourself another coffee and you go sit outside and contemplate your future.
I don't know if more coffee is what we need today. I feel like everyone's a little bit jazzed up here today.
Yeah, so let's full send it, folks. and look at this. Look at this with CUPR. We got. I think this what just happened. We unhalted, and then we popped up over VWAP, came right back in down to the 65 EMA, and now we're halted again. I don't know. Yeah, or breathe. and Smoke Tuna, you're right. WLDS. A lot of these might. Okay, so we say this all the time. A lot of these are probably going to come back and trade better in the afternoon. We have seen this happen a lot, especially with these crazy movers that we've been dealing with this week. Happened on Monday, happened on Tuesday, and it's probably going to happen today.
Big Bear Hug, I'm done for the day. Thank you, guys. Logging out from Seoul, South Korea.
All right.
Yo, that's awesome. Hope you had a good trip over there. I'm pretty sure it's a trip. You don't live there. Nonetheless, good stuff there. Big Bear Hug.
JL said, look at QMMM. I'm just going to look at it for
I did very briefly.
Okay. So it looks like this. Okay. This is hilarious. I don't know that this is going to go up to 300 or anything, but this is kind of curling up and looking like it wants to go at least back up to 150. No guarantee that happens.
I asked anybody that I talked to that was talking about this yesterday, how do you buy this? And I didn't get a single answer from a single person. The closest thing to an answer I got was someone that said carefully.
No. I gave an answer. I gave an answer in the happy hour chat.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I guess that I forgot that.
I want to
remember
see
so
your
many different
reaction.
things.
Go look at it. I want to see your reaction. Go look
Oh,
at
it's
it.
in the actual chat room itself?
Yep.
I feel like I'm about to get embarrassed here.
No, you won't be embarrassed. It's above the recap from Happy Hour. Almost there.
These casino jackpots are here.
There it is. That's how you do it.
What? Apparently, anywhere you can grab it. Okay, fair enough. Folks, smash up the like for 13 and his funny jokes. And as a reminder, while we're talking about it, 13's also a moderator of the Happy Hour chat. So if you want these laughs all day long, not just on the show, please subscribe to Benzinga Pro and check it out. All jokes aside, you do a great job moderating that room.
I appreciate that.
So we'll put all of the kind of hyperbole aside here. You really do a good job there. Okay, let's get back down to brass tacks.
And Jitbuyer 401k is saying check out Micron. Yeah, Micron's been on a tear out of this. I believe this is an ascending triangle that we were talking about earlier. So we broke over that at 129, and now we're coming up to a trend line here. And if this continues up and we hit this trend line, that's going to be at about 147. It hits that. So might get some resistance up there, but this I think is going to go on, to print new all-time highs. I don't know, maybe later this year, possibly, but I think the high that it put in back in June last year, I think we're going higher than that. This is a crucial company for AI development and data centers.
Okay. Smoke Tuna, regarding the WLDS here, it will do a base here. Watch its base camp. So Smoke Tuna, it sounds like you think that it's going to try and trade sideways here. This actually would be a pretty good spot because if it moves through that 558 VWAP, I think you can go higher here.
WLDS.
3D's asking, is there a link for the webinar tonight with Tim? As a matter of fact, there is. Let me throw that here in the chat. That one you don't have to email me for. I can just drop it in here. Here you go.
Looks like PTNM that was mentioned earlier. That's curling up. It looks like this is about to break out. You want to draw a trend line real fast?
Let me do it here. PTNM.
Do you see the two wicks on the top? As soon as there you go.
Yep. Oh, I see the trend line already. It's literally forming in my mind.
Yep. Looking at that as a breakout spot. Need more volume, but that's what I'd be looking at. Oh,
you and Tuna have both been mentioning MACD. I think it's just officially time to add this here to this day trading chart so we can take a look at it.
Go if you have time, go and look and see how the MACD looks when you get these big rallies, these big pulls, and it kind of gives you an indication prior to these things happening where the momentum's going. So
which was a good case study in this?
Was
it one of those that fell out?
WLDS. This is when I was looking at this.
Okay.
So you see how that we started curling over, and then we got that crossing right before we had the big drop.
The lines here that are crossing literally right that preempted that drop 13. Okay.
So that's what I was watching for.
Gotcha. I'm going to leave this on here. Really good lesson there. We'll keep focusing on actionable stuff like this. That's really helpful. You're welcome, 3D. Smoke Tuna says the secret to catching these movers is to be early. And then he's promoting Tuna Signal AI. Would you get here, Tuna? Come on.
The power of AI. I just want to. I mean, I have no position in anything right now, but I think
neither do I.
To wrap my morning up, gleefully, with just to see PTNM break out of that trend line. That would just put a cherry on top for the morning for me. Because everything else is looking pretty bad.
Now that MACD line came in but didn't cross, so you still think it's good to go then because of that? Or it could be. I know you're not making a prediction here, but it could be still lined up to go.
When it comes to like WLDS, it's a little bit more pronounced how this curling over formed. This is the PTNM. It looks like it tried to, but it just continued higher. And I think there's some other elements at play there for that because we didn't really get a meaningful rollover. It looked like on either one of those times when it started approaching the signal line. So
Right.
yeah, I need to see like an actual. It needs to look like it's literally like curling over and about ready to break through. This one PTNM, we're right there at the trend line, right there at the trend line. Just break out.
At this point now, even though I don't have it, I'm invested in seeing it break this trend line just for the lulls.
750. That's the breakout spot. There's a seller right in the way there. We take him out, and there it
And
goes.
look at that pop. Look at that pop above it.
Oh, okay. Well, 775 next resistance. That's the high from the pre-market, and then let's look at the daily.
JJ Ryan, what was it that 13 said? He posted a really funny GIF there. That's probably that's why I didn't say it, because it was a picture.
Just basically hang on,
Yeah.
Just grab where you can and hang on. But no, that's not good. It was a joke. But this is not a joke. PTNM 790
right through that trend line,
and now it's pulling back.
And this again showing us that, look, if you're going to take these trades, be quick on them and take the gains. Right? They're not all going to do what some of the 100-point movers did yesterday.
That was cool. That was cool.
MWYN, this came up to its VWAP, met resistance, and sold back off. It's coming up to its VWAP again. It's the pull that you want to buy on that. And by the way, PTNM still pulling. We'll see if that gets back down to the VWAP and stays there.
It went down to my VWAP. Now I think the MACD is going to tell you when this is about to roll over. It's really, really close to crossing the signal line.
There you go.
There was something I just saw here that I wanted to bring up. Oh, anyone have an idea for trading INOD?
Buy it when it was $3.
I don't know. Yeah.
Our happy hour talked about this when it was $3 or $4, saying that eventually this thing's going to go. It took a couple of years, but here you are.
I still have all my drawings for when we were talking about that, and I've got my levels at 432, 557, 925. And we're like, oh yeah, if it breaks out here, it's going to back test and do this, and with no idea that this was going to run all the way up into the 50s, let alone the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh man, if I had known that, I would have held on much longer.
This is the type of stuff that I've been asking for. That MWYN is at VWAP. We'll see if it gets rejected there or if it pops above and comes back in. It did just peak above there, and here's the pull. Actually, that didn't break down. That's right back on. We'll see here. I'll let that settle down. I do want to highlight this because this, I think, is important here. Regarding WLDS, mark my word. This is from Tuna here. Mark my words. WLDS will do a base, then it will flush. That flush will be the one for entry if the MACD 5-minute is turning green. So you want to see this price, Tuna, just sell off, flush, like we said, and you want to see this MACD histogram starting to turn green. Those two things represent your entry trigger for this. Am I getting that correct? This is why the reason I want to slow down and focus on this is because it's not running yet. And so this at least gives us a battle plan.
But this current setup right now doesn't look great. I feel it looks like this is about to go lower, and I feel like the support that it's going to get is probably going to be somewhere around 375. We'll see if that's what ends up happening here with this one. But this right here, it looks like this is going to go lower.
By the way, MWYN rejected and pulled from its VWAP. Now it's doing its best to hold on to $2 here, but it got rejected at that VWAP again, which is another reason why we can't necessarily buy those tests or those breaks. There we go. Smoke Tuna says 13. It's going to be very close to 366. That flush that he's talking about for being viable. Okay.
You know what? When he says something that it lines up with what I'm saying, we're both kind of saying the same thing. It's usually a good sign.
Okay, let's see if we get. I'm looking at this. I've got this pegged at the 65 EMA and the 5. That's 372. That's 8 cents away. 8 cents isn't going to make or break any trade on these.
BT.
Nasty pull MWYN, by the way.
On
MWYN. Sorry if that wasn't clear.
Okay.
The good old shakeout and breakout.
And we were going to mention that BT is ripping. Well, I don't know about ripping. I mean, this thing is like 21 cents off its low of the session. It's up. certainly
decent volume, and it's actually a continuation of the volume we got yesterday. So if this holds up, this actually might be something on for later today. Volume's got a hold in that, though, I feel like.
The daily chart, I feel like you could infer a lot more from this, especially with some of the trend lines that kind of stand out. So let's see if we do that. Maybe there's a 415 print in this stocks future. I don't know if it's today, but it looks like it could happen at some point soon. It definitely has to get through the resistance at 360 though. All right, let me look back here at some of these other ones.
CoreWeave 2X long ETF. That's actually making a nice move here today. How did AEHL do? Boy, look at that. That was a big winner in the pre-market. This thing's been nothing but pullback.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
That's the CoreWeave ETF. RBNE, is that destruction over? Maybe it's holding 3.
Nice job, Retro. Out by the skin of your teeth.
Hey, sometimes we'll take that.
Oh gosh, here we go. QMMM is halted to the upside. I know I probably said that a lot yesterday, but here we are again today.
Okay. I am not. I'll just say this right now. I am not going to trade this one.
No.
This to me has the makings of just absolute destruction. I'm not going to do it. You're all up to your own.
I'd rather just watch it and laugh about it. It's I'll get some value out of that, and I likely won't lose money doing it. So this is halted at an area of resistance that was previously support in the after hours yesterday. So out of that halt, we could get a rejection there. Now, if we don't, I'd be looking at a break over 175. It had a hard time in the after hours yesterday after it lost 175, recapturing it. So if it can get above this what is this, like 133 or 132 area that was providing support in the after hours yesterday, I'd be looking at the resistance area of 175.
EPSM is the other one from yesterday that was going with QMMM, and it looks like it's got a similar formation here. Glenn's saying 144 next on QMMM.
144.
Kamal, where's that comment there? I don't see it. Kamal, you were asking for the voice notification for news. That's going to be the squawk icon, upper left corner right up here. Looks like a little radio wave, and the equity squawk is the one that comes with Pro. You can opt to buy the extra high beta squawks to just have more squawk, but equity squawk is, I think, what you're referring to, and that comes with Pro. Upper left corner, little wave radio Wi-Fi type icon up there. That's how you do it.
Rev B, I don't like the way that.
No, and that was a runner from the pre-market earlier. There were a number of folks in the Benzinga chat that were trading this too. That's the other thing. We were just talking about Benzinga Pro. If you guys are part of the pre-market crowd, or you really like the pre-market, that day trading room starts up at like 4 a.m. I'm not even kidding. So
there's animals in there.
Yeah, if you're looking for a community that's on even before we come on here in a chat room, Benzinga Pro has you for that as well.
They're absolute animals in that channel.
There's Kamal. There's no audio notification on the newsfeed. There's only category audio notifications. If you click on the profile icon in the upper right and you click alerts, this will allow you to select a sound notification for a category. It's not for a specific newsfeed.
Looks like PTNM. I think the next candle may tell us if this is going to lose VWAP and come back in. Support's going to be at 6.
On which one? And not MWIN.
PTNM.
PTNM.
Yeah. So it's. I think the next candle is going to tell us if this is going to go lower or not. So we did get a little bit of a higher print in BT. No, we didn't. No, we're right there at the high print. We're trying to go higher. It looks like SNTG is trying to turn around here. This is very, very low volume, so I don't know how much upside is going to be in this one, unless we get some more volume in it. ASST is open, and that is trying not to go lower, but has to recapture the 200 EMA. So in for that drop in WLDS. Looks like GLE is trying to turn around here. Watch for recapture of 65 EMA and VWAP. Things are moving pretty slow, and we are just seconds away from 10:30, where volume does leave the market. So keep that in mind if you are trying to look for another trade setup. It may serve you well to wait a little bit longer. QMMM 144, 145.20 is the high. Here we go. Here comes the silliness.
I can't buy this, guys. I can't trade this one. I will miss this one. That one I won't feel bad about.
Oh man, it's just funny. You know, what can you do at some days but just laugh? It's funny because when you get like these, and this isn't newsworthy or anything, but when you get some really big news, like when GME was going crazy from the Wall Street Bets pump,
yeah,
that really does pour over into other social groups. I had people that know nothing about the markets or anything like that come and ask me what's going on with that. So
same.
It's fun in that sense. Like when you get to start talking about other people over something they have no idea about and they just are curious.
Yeah, I couldn't buy QMMM with my Schwab account. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, volume not looking like it really is there right now, folks, unless you're in QMMM. And this is looking like it's putting in some upper shadow, so we'll have to be careful with that one if you're trading it. Mimi at my VWAP again. So it looks like this candle in PTNM is not giving us the indication it wants to go lower yet. But I don't like the volume, so let's see what happens in the next 3 minutes.
Is that PTNM?
Yeah.
This does look like it's maybe trying to curl and go towards that trend line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoo saying you can call. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If I can't hit buy and sell, then there's inherent risk in that trade that I just don't need to take. Look how many different tickers that we were talking about here today that we can buy. I don't want to waste my time on a phone. PTNM going for that trend line. Smoke Tuna saying it's done.
Yeah, I mean, the volume just isn't there. So let's see if it can get through that trend line again. I'm not really confident in this at the moment, just because of the volume.
And the last time it went through the trend line, it peaked through it and yanked. Klarna, by the way, I know some of you guys are talking about that. That IPO's here today, ticker KLAR. That's Kilo Lima Alpha Romeo. That priced, I think, at like 40. It's indicating 48 to 50 for the open.
BMNR
showing it on CNBC as well.
BMNR is trying to push up through 49. Really, really spread, really thin. I don't know that it does, but maybe. A lot of these names just don't look appealing right now. Let's look at the way that they're trading. Very, very spready, very thin, low volume. I don't know that we're going to get the moves we're looking for with most of these, if not all of them.
Lions AEM getting some call buying there. Those are the 160 calls for October.
You talked about Apple today.
Yeah, a little bit. We talked about the new
event.
phone and the event yesterday.
What was the big reveal?
I think it wasn't it the iPhone 17.
Really? That's the big reveal.
So. The watch doesn't require the phone to be tethered anymore. But I think it was the iPhone here. They were talking here. An analyst said Apple has 2.4 billion iOS devices and 1.5 billion iPhones worldwide, setting up a favorable outcome if customers choose to replace their devices. We estimate roughly 350 million iPhone users of the 1.5 billion cohort have not upgraded in over 4 years.
Yeah, because it's the same product that comes out every year.
Yeah, Yorkie here saying the iPhone Air, the real thin one. AirPods with translation live. That actually would be pretty cool.
But that's something that I feel like that software can do with about any earbud set, right? If you have a microphone and you have earbuds and they're both connected, you can just hold your phone up and I don't know. I feel like that's just a software thing. But maybe there's a way for companies to integrate microphones into the earbuds so that it's an all-in-one.
There was a better front-facing camera for selfies.
And yeah, there we go. Yorkie Labs, Samsung Buds already had live translate. So
I was gonna say I have the Samsung Buds on my phone, and I'm pretty sure I get advertised that all the time. I don't use it, but I'm pretty sure I get advertised that all the time.
So, what did Apple innovate this time? What did they come out with that's new?
Yeah, I don't think they did really. I don't think the innovation is part of it. Looks like just kind of a refresh of their product line. They think there might be a super cycle there.
So it's basically on hopes. Man, they should have. God, nothing about their about glasses, about AI glasses, right?
No,
they are so behind. Nothing about AI either. Nothing about which company they picked up or anything like that.
No.
It deserves to be down.
Here, for any of you that want that, here's the recap article from the Apple. I'll throw it in the chat there for anyone that wants to go through that.
What would really turn Apple stock around is if they got rid of Tim Cook. I'll say it again.
No, we've said that. We've actually said that for a while. In fact, I think we pulled the happy hour group sometime last year, and I forced people to answer and was like, what do you think would happen? And I think the majority of folks said that the stock would likely pop on the news that Cook is being replaced. Now, 4x4 sensor instead of a 4x3, pretty much the biggest thing.
Awesome. Thank you, though. Awesome. Smoked tuna. I think you're onto something here. They really need to get into different spaces. The kitchen might be a great spot.
Smart cookware.
No, like a smart oven or a smart stove or smart microwave.
That MWYN totally rejected at the VWAP. That thing's rolling over. ASST, this now printing new day lows. This is beneath the pre-market lows. We're back to the after hours from yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that's appealing to me right now, and I'm comfortable with just sitting on my hands and let the fireworks and QMM happen. Looks like it went up to 155.22 before it was rejected. So pretty much right where I was looking for this to go to. Now this could just be a pullback before it sets up to go higher. There's always that possibility, but not taking a stab in this one. Tim Cook. Yep. DGNX, everybody's saying.
So they completed a reverse. That was something that you were talking about yesterday, 13.
Yep. Was this one of the ones that I had mentioned?
I don't think so.
Because I had a whole list from that website that was reverse splits that were upcoming. Wow, what a move this is having. So we're halted now, and we have so we're there's only two closes on the daily chart for DGNX that are higher than where it's halted right now. That was on April 14th and April 15th. Oh, and I guess April 16th as well, since it still was down, but it closed above that. So yeah, I mean, this thing might go into the 20s. I don't know that it will, but it might.
Not chasing the move higher.
Nope, not chasing that either. And here we go. Look at WLDS. We did get some of the lower prints. It went down to 441.
380, 360 is the level that we talked about, right? The flush level.
Yeah, I like the 65 EMA. That's I have that down at 382, 383. That's what I like. PTNM still hasn't done anything. It has not been back up to that trend line, even though it's been attempting to get back up there.
So all of that pre-market hype seems like it's kind of waned out now.
Yeah, and it'll probably come back in the afternoon when volume returns. It's like, we're past that 10:30 time. People are off talking about all the great trades they did and all these junk names.
And also Oracle.
And how they bought Oracle before earnings and held it, and now they're happy.
APDN, this is popping here on volume. I'll see if there's any news for you, Webcoin. Guy got nothing. The same thing when we checked earlier on APDN.
Oh, Applied DNA. Why do I have a feeling like there's also a crypto angle attached to this? Let's see here. Restructuring. They announced that on June 30th. Their CEO retired. I think this is the one we traded where the CEO retired and we had a new chairperson and CEO. I don't know if this was that same one or not, but I felt like we have traded this before. Just don't have any levels for this, so I don't know why this is going.
Lion mentioning TTD again. TTD dipped back in a 40 handle. Oh, this is getting crushed here. Yeah, I'm not looking to buy this here, Lion. Sorry, man. This looks like this is going to revisit low 40 handle. Not today.
Looks like it's trying to curl right now. There might be like a recovery attempt that takes it up to like, $49.50, $50, but it looks like it's going to go lower after that. QMMM halted to the downside. PTNM still trying to do something with that trend line, but it's mostly sideways right now. Looks like ASST might have found a bottom. Let's see if it can turn around from here. WLDS is starting to recover. Wow. It's coming back up to some of these EMAs. It's approaching VWAP, WLDS. Smoke tuna. I don't know if it went low enough or if it went down to the 441 spot and said, you know what, that's good, let's go. If it didn't go low enough, then be careful here. Got some more time for it to go down, but if it breaks through VWAP and starts closing above 6, I think that low might have already been in.
So I have WLDS, trying to recapture its VWAP now. Did not get down.
Yeah. It didn't. No, you're right. That's what I was just saying. It didn't get down to the levels we were looking for. But if it goes over 6, then I don't know that it's going to get there. Soon.
Right. And Smoke Tuna saying, remember, keep an eye on the MACD for when that curls and goes green.
And I agree with you, Jeremy. Innovation has died in Apple. It's just a safe spot, with a lot of cash. They really need to come up with something. They're behind in AI. They're behind on devices. Yeah. They're getting all their AI technicians poached by Meta. I mean, what is Apple doing? Why is Tim Cook still running the company? That's a good question, Marty. We probably haven't. It was supposed to happen sooner than this, but let's see what happens with CPI tomorrow, and then the FOMC decision next week. Maybe we'll start to see that seasonality that we were expecting kick in. BT, this hasn't broken down yet. It's still hanging out at 3, looking to push higher into the 3 handle. APDN, that thing got sliced. This thing went all the way down to 266. Marty's
saying, what happened to September seasonality?
I just answered him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said I was asking something. I was like, "That's a good question," and I was saying maybe we get that we start to see it with the CPI report tomorrow, or we see it with the FOMC decision next week. You have WLDS breaking the whole 9 yards, saying he has WLDS breaking the trend line, looking for a reverse and bounce confirmation. Where's WLDS? There it is. So it looks like it was trying to get back up to VWAP, but the volume isn't really there quite yet. There's a big seller in the way at 540. Maybe if we take that seller out, we'll get to VWAP. I think that I still maintain that if we start trading over 6, the short-term bottom is in for now.
Tess saying, I don't think Apple is safe anymore. There will be a reckoning with no innovation. Maybe.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I feel like, I mean, with how much cash Apple has and their presence and everything, they still have chances to do something. But I think the windows are closing.
Look at Oracle, dude. Up almost 40%.
Now, Oracle might... I'm starting to get the sense that Oracle might start doing NVIDIA things. And I mean that in the sense that, you remember when NVIDIA was, consistently, beating expectations, doing, tens of billions of dollars in sales? Oracle had a really massive guide that kind of looked similar to what NVIDIA had done. Just massive increases of their next earnings coming up. They guided for the next 4 years too, right?
Yeah, and the guide is like eye popping, like how good that is. We covered that this morning.
It really does. It really does look like it the beginnings of what NVIDIA was doing. So we'll see if that ends up happening. But man, Oracle, this is one to buy on the big pullbacks, I think. Yeah, WLDS pop.
Yeah, it went through its VWAP and popped and trying to load
there
it
is.
Here.
There it is. So it's over 6 now, and the resistance that it's going to come up to, I think, is going to be about 680. So this is starting to look pretty good here. Got some, resistance levels still to go through first, but so far so good. MACD is starting to curl. Hey, you got it, whole 9 yards. Samsung is eating Apple's lunch. I feel like Google's chipping in to that meal as well. But yeah, Samsung is definitely the big problem for Apple right now. See how strong that ecosystem can hold up. Wild in these 6 now. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what do we think here on WLDS? We do have the MACD kind of compressing. Don't think it's ready to go green. We did move through the VWAP on some pretty good volume. What are we thinking here?
3 minutes left in this candle. I still want to see this candle close above 6. So I think how this candle closes, that's going to tell us where this goes. PTNM still hasn't broken down yet, but it's been kind of just going sideways. I feel like a drop could be coming with this one. The volume would have to expand, pretty rapidly, and it just keeps declining. So
that's PTNM, right?
Yeah, I don't know that this is going to get that breakout. It keeps inching closer to the trend line, but the volume makes me think that we're not going to get the moves we're looking for, we're hoping for. So
Tesla is running, J. Michael. We mentioned this earlier. This pulled and it had a really nice run. This is actually at the highs now, TSLA.
Yeah. 360, that's a bit of a breakout spot for Tesla.
And 350, 360 has been the area that we've been talking about for what feels like months now.
And if Musk can deliver everything that his compensation package is stating that he needs to for $1 trillion, Tesla is going to be the company that's delivering the future. They are going to be.
Yep.
They are going to be incredible. If you look and see what he's got to do in order to get that, if he hits those milestones, I don't know another company that's going to even be close to what Tesla's doing. Yeah, and that's a good point. At this level, you might not be a good time to touch, especially if we're looking for potential pull in the market coming. CPOP is finally popping again. This might make a trip back up to VWAP. And that whole compensation package for Elon, this is like a ways away that he would have.
Yeah, it would take a while to do that. That's a long runway on that one.
So yeah, there's no means of suggestion that I'm saying here about getting into it now. I think needs to be a pull in the broader market, and Tesla's going to come down with it. Oh, APDN was just getting an ugly series of knives. Looks like a lot of these names are really coming in. MWYN, all the way down to the 65. I'm sorry, the 200 EMA. I don't know if this is going to reverse here or not, but something to watch for. Volume's not great, as it isn't in a lot of these.
Story trading in 10 minutes, folks. For those of you that like the story trading, fellas, they are coming.
All right. All right, less than 10 seconds now, and WLDS before this candle closes. It's not above 6. We might lose VWAP. We did close above VWAP, but we might lose it. We'll see what happens here.
Doesn't look great.
It doesn't look great. It looks like it needs more volume. The MACD is giving me a glimmer of hope, but it's that last candle didn't look great. Yeah, but yeah, no trades open. I think it would serve us well to just be patient and wait for some of the afternoon volume to return. We look at the moves that we had in those movers yesterday. QMMM, the big move came in the afternoon, as it did with a lot of the other names. I feel like we just need to be patient. So I might just go and touch some grass. Touch some grass for a little bit, come back, see what the volume do. All right, I'm gonna go look at these 3 names. Smoke Tune is mentioning GLTO. Progressive is mentioning IMRX.
I just took a look at that. IMRX has a pretty nice looking daily chart here, but not a whole lot going on today.
Okay, and then Smoke Tune is also mentioning
Putty's popping. It's right near the highs.
Okay, I'll look at that right now then. Wow, popping and becoming an instant 100% runner? No, it's been popping for some time. Okay, so 264 is the current high. Man, it just obliterated all kinds of lagging indicators. We are in the thick of some consolidation and at our resistance areas in HUDI. It looks like the next resistance area is going to, like a real hefty resistance area, is going to be at 3. So if this continues to move up, HUDI, I would anticipate some big resistance at $3. What is the... Okay, so this is currently halted. All right. And then you're also mentioning IMRX. Sorry, I'm going to go backwards.
Take care, Retro. Get those gains at the gym, buddy.
Nice. Moving on from one set of gains to the next. I like it. So IMRX had a nice golden cross back in July. That set the stage for the upside it's been experiencing over the past couple of months here. Coming up to some resistance areas, we've gone through some of them. The next one I see here is going to be at about 850, 855, somewhere right in there. And it looks like the resistance in that area extends all the way up to 9. So I guess I would say from about 850 to 9, you could see some resistance, maybe some sideways price action. But if this is going to continue up, you're going to want to see those sellers get completely chewed through, and you probably end up seeing 10 if that happens. But for now, 850 to 9 looks like the next big resistance area. And it wouldn't surprise me if this did start to come in from that after this run that it's been on. Look at the RSI and how extended that is. So, even if it does go higher than the print that it's had today, I don't think it's too much higher from here. This could be lower tomorrow. WLDS still kind of holding,
slowing down a little. It looks like
it is, but it's still holding above my VWAP. But it's at the same time beneath 6, so kind of caught in a little spot here.
Barat asking Ryan, how do you concentrate on a day when there's too many movers? It was tough. I did not do a good job concentrating. I showed my frustration here. I think the best thing to do for individuals is to just stay focused on what it is that you're trying to trade. The whole 9 yards thought did a really good job today, just kind of not like going around with the rest of the group. Focus. You can find a setup that you like prior to the stock moving and focus on that and wait for it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. But I think the constant running around and changing, I don't think that's productive to each individual trader. Maybe if you're a pro, it is. I don't know, but it hurts me more than anything else.
Yeah, so just because someone's saying something about a stock is not the invitation to just jump right in it. Go look at the chart, see what it's doing, see if there's an actual entry for you to make some money on. And if there isn't, then just wait for it to set up or move on. Yeah. There's no sense in getting ourselves stuck in these things because we're noticing something that some of us are already in and is taking off. Don't be the person that we're going to sell to. Okay. Don't be that person.
Yep. And I'll start dialing back. I know with all the stuff that's going on here, trying to take tickers fast and furious from the chat, I'm not going to do that going forward. Just letting you guys know. I'm just not going to do that.
Producer with some great information here about why Amazon's going lower. It's off the heels of the Oracle earnings. So Oracle, a big competitor with Amazon's web services. But I don't necessarily, I don't think that Oracle's going to just come along and eat Amazon's lunch. I think it's just growing competition. And to me, that means that there's going to be, more opportunities for Amazon and Microsoft's Azure and every other company that's creating cloud infrastructure.
WLDS, don't look now, coming back in under VWAP. VWAP here in TradingView. I've got VWAP at 544 in my broker.
Yeah, so this may give us the setup that we're looking for that takes us down lower than the that 441 low that we just experienced. So looking for a new regular session low. What was it you were looking for? Smoked tuna was like around
366 or something like that.
Okay. The 65 EMA is over 4 now, so you might get support from there. But if we drift beneath it, then go with that smoked tuna level afterwards. He's also mentioning Top.
We took a look at that. That's another one of those China names that we've traded before here.
Oh, Top Financial. Okay, I was thinking of the shipper. I think that's Tops though, with an S at the end. Okay. Actually, there's a bit of a trend line that this just kind of broke over. Oh wow, look at that. So Top, you have a trend line here from the after hours high into the pre-market high into the breakout over that trend line. See it?
Yep. Sure do.
And look at where the price action goes. Yeah. So it ended up back testing that trend line after that first impulse move, and it sent it higher. Trend lines, how do they work?
Well, is the answer.
Well, should I start to wrap up?
Here's the link for Tim's webinar. I don't even have the story trading guys here yet.
Oh, okay.
If they were here, I would go to them early, but I don't even have them in the room yet.
Okay.
By the way, link I just threw in the chat there, Conga, is for the webinar tonight with Tim. It is free to join.
Looks like Rev B is about ready to take the next leg lower. This thing is looking like it's going to just fall through 230. Just the way the chart looks. If this falls to 230, I'd be looking for a 208 low.
I'm sorry, which ticker?
Rev B. One of the
that was one of the runners from this morning. Gotcha.
Yeah, that one looks like it's going to go lower. Yeah,
NBIS, this did an offering this morning, didn't it? After that huge move higher?
I heard that it did.
Yeah, 1 billion share offering and 2 billion convertible makes the offering in 2 tranches. It actually went green. And, Ondis, I know we were talking about, you got asked about earlier here. Ondis, I know it's barely hanging on to green. But I'll tell you something. After that offering yesterday, this action here, it's traded a whole bunch of shares yesterday. I wonder if that all got bought.
And what's funny is with NBIS, the support area from yesterday was back prior to them leaving Russia. That high from November of 2021, that was the support area that the price came down to yesterday before it reversed, and now we're still trading above it. So I think that's a level to keep in mind, keep an eye on there for any downside moves in NBIS. That high is 87.11. I'm just going to put a line out there right now, just to have that. Is it on downside? I'm going to want to know about that level. All right, 87.11, fantastic, looking good.
WLDS losing its VWAP.
Costco is dumping. Why?
Oh, there's the story trading, guys. Someone didn't send you the link.
Real quick, while he's getting story trading folks on here, Costco, I don't see news. I'll look at that in a second, but I can see on the chart that we have a rejection at the 200-day SMA, and it is a nasty one. We are getting some support from the 20 and 50-day SMAs, as well as a bit of a mid channel. There's a parallel channel that the price action's been trading in. We're coming down to the mid channel right now. Looking at the news, I don't see anything. I see a buy rating, but I don't see anything that would suggest this needs to come back in. Maybe it's a price for perfection, and it's the rally is over. It really does look like it's been rolling over since the beginning of the year, but don't have any other information on why Costco's going down other than a 200-day SMA rejection. All right. Time for me to say goodbye?
No, they're not here yet. I am trying to get the producers to do it. Sorry, story trading folks. Looks like we had a little mix up there with the link. I am trying to get it done here for you.
Meanwhile, we have HUDI.
Way too much at one time.
I got you, man. I'm going to keep talking. HUDI, this thing is halted to the upside after a big move up to 325. Really bullish looking candle here, but in a halt. So take that for what it is. We could get this unhalt and a pull. And it's just unhalted and went higher. Now it's coming in. And it's going higher. 394. 398. Let's print 4. Why not? There it is. There's 4. It's probably going to halt again at some point soon here. Looks like it's starting to. Next resistance area is going to be about 425, 430, I think. That's going to be back from 2023.
Ben, if you're still out there, you should have that now. You should be all set.
Okay, HUDI is halted.
All right, 13. Closing words for the group.
Another fun day with everybody trading these really weird, junky super mover names. Let's see if we get some more tomorrow. Enjoy story trading. I'll see you folks tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.
All right, really good stuff, 13. We will see you tomorrow. Let's go bring them on. Here's Ben and Rhett. Look, Ben, I'm sorry, man. There's only so much that I can do here. I'm glad someone from my team was able to get it. Let's bring on the Godfather. Let's get your screen share up. I don't want to waste any more of your precious time. It has been a monster morning here. I hope it's been like that for you. Have a good one.
Yeah, well, it could have been a monster morning. I was looking at Oracle all day yesterday. I had it underlined in my newsletter yesterday morning as the ER that I thought, could have a good ER. And I looked at the call options. I was expecting Oracle to break 260, and the 255 call options were like $7. I'm like, that's too expensive. I was talking about this on live stream. I didn't go for it. And now those 255 oh my gosh, the $255 call options. Let's see how much they are now.
You see, someone did it from the live stream yesterday.
Someone from our live stream followed.
Yeah, they said we should have those live streams 3 to 4 p.m. every day with a fire emoji. PK. You see
PK did it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome! I got a caller. Oh my god, up 1,000%, 1,200%. But I have to tell you, I made a few $1,000 really fast, thanks to you, the Godfather. So what I ended up doing on Oracle, I went with the right before the close. I went with the levered ETF, and you see this initial drop here. I looked at the news item, and then the top and bottom line missed. And then I'm like, oh, let me just get out. And I got out at break even though, I don't know why I got a bad fill. I got it at break even, but we're on the air. Godfather, you were there. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I only looked at the headline. I didn't read, read the PR. And then Godfather's like, yeah, the guidance is really good. I'm like, really? I didn't see the guidance. I go in and I read the guidance, and I was like, holy crap. And I jump back in with common shares this time on Oracle. And in like 2 minutes, I made like $7,000 or something. I was like, oh, that was this morning. So I'm looking at the wrong candles. This is last night. Here it is. Okay, this is it right here. This is the candle I'm talking about where I got out of the levered ETFs because of the headline. And then I got back into common shares at 270, a little bit late. So I thought, but yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, sold it at 290. And I'm like, whoa, $7,000. That's great. Wow. I mean, this was incredible. And this is not the only one, man. There's been so many things. UNH we nailed. Thank God. I didn't get the whole move, but we had a few 100% on UNH. AMD. I was in the AMD calls. I only sold them for 40% yesterday. We've been around a lot of bangers, but anyway,
I sold mine for $70. They opened this morning at $400.
I don't even want to know. I don't even know. But anyway, Godfather knows. Curious before we get into macro. Did you jump into Oracle after hours last night? Man, I didn't. Even if I had those calls, I
did small,
but in common, of course.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought this thing would be up 40% today? But obviously, the options were the way to play it, and I completely missed on that. So anyway, but I made some money on the common, like you. But I sold too early.
Yeah, and if I had the call options, I would have sold it first thing in the morning. Let me see what they opened at. There was a $255. Look at these, $85. I was looking at these at the close. There were $6, $7. I'm like, nah, I don't like that. They opened at 62. Well, still would have been a 10 bagger. Anyway, a lot of eventful things going on. Best day since 1999. Just yesterday, I was starting to say after the NBIS move yesterday, 40%, whatever. I mean, this is really starting to feel like 1998. And then today, I just see the headline coming out that this is the best day for Oracle since 1999. So it's it's very similar. What's going on here, guys? But well, you know, markets boomed for like another year back then before they crashed. Anyway, let's go to the macro. PPI comes in light. I mean, I don't think anyone expected it to be negative. Hey, Godfather, I don't know. Are there any read-throughs? Is there any components of PPI or any way that you can predict CPI tomorrow based on PPI?
I'm going to say historically the correlation has not been great, to be honest with you. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is that the Fed doesn't really care about PPI, right? They care about CPI and they care about core CPI. So there's a higher chance that CPI will be hot than PPI. That said, I think the market is coming around to the Waller view that, a lot of it, and your view, quite frankly, you've been on and committed to this view early, that is transient.
Tariffs.
Certainly the tariff. So,
well, you know what I said early.
And I think
I said early, and I was the only one saying this about the tariffs in the early days. Where I was saying it's going to get spread out across the supply chain and really get absorbed, and only a fraction of it, if any, is going to come in and hit the consumer. Because at the time, the drumbeat by the media was, this is a tax. It's 100% tax. Every dollar is going to get passed through the consumer. And I was like, no freaking way. There's so many inefficiencies in the whole supply chain, and it's going to get spread out. And companies are so bloated and inefficient in how they operate. They're going to find inefficiencies, and then we're not going to see a lot of this hit the consumer. That was my contention. I was like the only person saying that. I wish I made a bet on that somehow, or I wish I was louder about that, but it turned out to be 100% right on that.
Look, I think the more important thing here is that the more important part of the Fed mandate is employment now. That's what's primarily in focus. So there's no question about the trajectory of rates. It's just some question about the cadence of those rates. So look, I've been pounding the table on housing and other interest rate sensitive names. They've had some huge gains in the last little while. We saw that consolidated yesterday. A little fire was lit under these names with the weak PPI. But the market's in a bit of disbelief. All you have to do is look at the nail chart.
Nails down.
But you could see all these names. really surge.
Why is Nell down today?
Tomorrow it's. Well, again, it was up first thing this morning, and then it sold off like a lot of these interest-sensitive names. And you see the same thing in LDI, same thing in Open, same thing in.
I guess we all got to wait for. I guess we all got to wait for CPI. I was saying since yesterday, if CPI comes in light, I think IWM is going straight to 243. I think we can see 243 on Friday if CPI comes in, even if it's 0.1% lighter than consensus.
Look, the trajectory of mortgage rates is down here, right? We saw these weekly MBA numbers this morning; they were massive, right? We saw refi activity up 12% sequentially. It's up 30%, 34% year over year. We've got the strongest week of borrower demand since 2022. Well, in 2022, LDI did 600 million in net income. And stock was double digits. So look, there's incredible leverage in these names. There's incredible value in these names. It's one of the few groups that has not moved in this market at all. And it's not a question of whether rates are going to come down. It's a question of when. And then on top of that, of course, you've got all of these potential government-driven tailwinds, right?
When and to what extent? The magnitude, right? The magnitude.
Second half. What's that?
I said the question is when, but also the magnitude of how much they'll come down is the big question there too.
Right, new buyer incentives, from the Trump administration, new builder incentives from the Trump administration, cutting regulation, all of these things, exempting building materials from tariffs. These things are all talked about to fueling affordability in housing, and that's going to be huge for originations and refi activity. Refi activity is massive for a name like LDI. They've got 70% recapture rates, which is basically refinancing customer retention. So there's zero customer acquisition costs there. These are people.
Oh my God!
Like parabolic right now.
Why don't I own Oracle in my retirement account at least, so I can enjoy this whole move? Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I know. I don't even want to look at it today.
I used to have Oracle in my retirement account. I don't know why. All these small caps over the summer were like exploding. So I started taking out some of the bigger caps in my retirement account and playing with the smaller cap, which paid off. But man, I wish I kept Oracle. Holy smokes. Unbelievable. Look at that. Oh my gosh. All right. Sorry. I digress. Did I interrupt you? What were you saying?
How about AEO today?
So what a timely reiteration of AEO. Both of us have been on AEO. I actually, though, in my trade account, I had call options yesterday, which I sold because we had 2 consecutive down days and we broke a support level that I was looking at. Basically, I didn't like that we went below 1772. We broke the prior day's low. So I sold my call options and half of my shares. But this morning, I did double my share count again in the trade account. Don't have the call options anymore, sadly. Well, I have a few in Webull, but not in the big money. Nice timing, reiterating AEO. How did you figure today was a day? Was it because of light PPI? I mean, no, IWM's down now. Why did you think today, or was that just luck?
No, I was just looking at this, consolidating the gains from the quarter. We were both on that quarterly conference call. We both came away with the sense that the market was sort of underpricing the improvements across the board, not just the Sydney Sweeney thing and the Travis Kelce thing, but operational improvements at AEO. So what I hadn't had time to do was compare to the rest of the group. I'm a fundamental guy, so I get the story, I get the momentum, I get the positive sentiment. But how does it stack up to the rest of the group? And if you look at the multiples of the rest of the group, what does it tell you where AEO should be fairly valued? And ascribing no premium, just trading at pure multiples. I get a range that extends between 1870 and 2430. So midpoint of that range is sort of 2161 right now. That's 15%, and I think that's low. I think we get to the higher end of that range, which is sort of 30%. Higher from here. So, I'm talking my book because I'm long massive call position.
Ooh, massive call position. Wow. Yeah. Yosef has influenced you, I see.
But me, I go out multiple months. I'm not playing DJ short term expiry stuff. So,
Well, I got it.
Anyway, yeah, there was a nice confirmation of the theory. It takes some time to put these tables together, and you have a thesis, but does it actually ring true? Does it pass mustard? And I've done the number now. I just wanted to have conviction because the position was so large.
New high
and
right
I
now.
came away from the analysis with higher conviction.
Yeah, and if you pull up the monthly chart, I've been saying I think this year it could take 5, 6, 7 months, but I think we're going to head to a little bit. I have higher targets than you. I think we're going to 25 to 35 based on the cycle here. And
my fundamental target is, first up is $24.
That's the fundamental, but then you got to layer on a sentiment premium, and you can speculate that the fundamentals will get even better, right? Because of the relationship, ongoing partnership with Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce. Put it all together, speculating about better fundamentals than you're even modeling, plus a sentiment premium on top of that, plus look at the monthly chart. And my target is 25 to 35, but I think it could take months to get there. So I do have a nice size position in my retirement account. But man, I wish I didn't sell my call options yesterday in my trade account. Look at this. We're coming up at that high, 1902.
Ben, look at HIMS.
I don't want to look at him. I sold it. I sold the news at the open like the plan was, and it keeps on going. HIMS 51. Yeah, we played this. We knew the news was coming based on some hints that were dropped on social media. I don't know. I didn't think it was too significant. I sold the open, made a little bit of money, but it keeps on going. But in any case, I was looking for a short-term target of $20 on AEO, which again, the last two candles I got disappointed. I'm like, I got to get out of these weekly calls, or maybe they expired next week actually. But they weren't. They were like $18 strike, so I didn't even need to reach 20. But these two candles shook me out. My original re-rate after that news was $20. Maybe we get there. If we break 1902, we can maybe see $20 next day, same day, like pretty quickly. So anyway, that's my target.
By the way, stretch targets on EV to sales, pure EV to sales, where the premium names are trading, like Boot Barn, etc., it gets you to 32, 34.
There you go.
So that's sort of stretch targets.
That fits right into that monthly chart. Is just gorgeous. Okay. That's AEO. LDI. You were just talking about that, and I bought some call options before the show, and I think I might just flip those here. Let's see.
Look, the stock got was up some 20-odd%, 26%, I think, the day before yesterday. Then sold off 18% yesterday. There was some insider sales news that came out, but look. This is on a predetermined sales plan. The average price was $252, so they've aggregated a bunch of sales over what period of time, I don't know exactly, but I have a feeling, you just look at the outperformance of LDI versus Open and OPAD. Not only are you seeing capital rotation into LDI, but I think there was some shorting on those insider sales reports, which were frankly misleading. I put out a note on X, explaining my thesis.
And just I want to add to this big picture for those who really don't know what LDI is. You talked about the fundamentals, but from a just trading or knowledge perspective, it was Eric Jackson has been pushing Open Door, OPEN, like crazy. You've all seen it on social media. And then Citron came in last week and said Open is crazy overvalued. The name to be in, the place to be in is LDI, okay? And since then, I think there's been very clear outperformance of LDI over Open, including today. So for those who are interested in, where's the momentum? Where's the sentiment? Where's the social media folks at? They've been shifting out of Open into LDI. I think that much is clear.
But keep in mind here, it's not just the shape of the wave here. It's the motion of the ocean. You've got, look at the charts of Rocket. RKT. Look at the chart of UWMC. Look at FTHM today, up 28%. So these are all similar names, and the whole group is moving for a reason. Right?
Well, let's hope we get light CPI tomorrow to light a bigger fire under these tomorrow. Like as I said in my morning, I said PPI will be cause volatility, but it'll probably be ignored. My initial plan. Because as you said, it's the CPI is more important. My initial plan was to not really act at all on PPI and ignore the volatility and wait for CPI. But when you come in negative, I had to. I'm like, maybe somehow there's a read through, maybe somehow CPI is now going to be light. So anyway, at least we're getting a 7% move. But now we really need to see the light CPI tomorrow for these to explode tomorrow. Anyway, man, I'm so upset I sold those AO call options yesterday, but I currently have.
By the way, there was a comment here about AEO squeeze, and yes, it's 18% short
Beautiful.
interest on AEO. Amazingly, I don't know why anyone would want to be short
I
Sydney
don't
Sweeney,
know.
but
you know what? I'm tempted to add more. I got to be honest with you. I like buying breakouts. Doesn't always work, but when it works, it generally works pretty good. Wow, a couple other names not working right now. Hold on. I'm just going to grab a few more. I just like this $19. Let's break out of that $19 high. All right, just adding a few more common shares, but I'm not going to chase call options here. All right. Made great money on GameStop last night. Look, you can see that. Lots of opportunity to make money on a huge top and bottom line beat, plus a warrant distribution plan for common shareholders. Sadly, there was no commentary about why the beat. There's no conference call. That makes it hard for me to have big sizes and have conviction. But I played it, and I'm playing, and on my latest entry is 25, been in and out a couple times, even did it with call options and been making good money. Obviously, I don't like that we've pulled back to 24.60 here, but Godfather, I mean, I did it. I acted on just the top and bottom line beat and this shared warrant distribution plan, but it kind of sucks. I don't know. What do you think about this? I was looking for an SEC filing last night.
I can't be compelled by GameStop here because we don't have that hefty short position anymore. B, I'm not compelled, despite the good numbers. I'm not compelled by the underlying business as a macro theme. And C, as a DAT, digital asset treasury play, they're nowhere near the top in terms of being a meaningful way to play Bitcoin. So
they have a lot of cash
all in all,
too,
I think the story is convoluted.
They also have a ton of net cash.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, I'm not arguing that there's potentially value here. I just don't think it's the center of focus from a theme basis or otherwise. I think Ryan Cohen, can do some interesting things, but I think the story is muddled. I think investors are confused on it. I think retail's moved on.
It would be potentially much higher if we had information on why the big top and bottom line beat. It could. Who knows? Who knows how high?
I'd rather focus on AI and the peripheral plays to AI. One of which, of course, is physical AI, and a couple of our picks have done extremely well there, like OUST and BZAI, which has been unbelieved by the market due to the short report and the fact that they're just getting their products, both software and hardware, the combined stack out into the market. And we haven't had a full quarter yet of them turning those pilots into actual revenue. But this thing should be in the $5 to $6
what are you talking about? BZAI? Oh, yeah. That's a top pick today for me and yesterday, too. Made good money on it yesterday. BZAI yesterday had an analyst come out. I think they initiated. Who was it? Was it Baird? Initiated with a $9 target? I forgot which analyst it was.
I think it was Wainwright.
No, it was not Wainwright. It was more legit than that. Here, let me.
But the most legit here is Davidson, DA Davidson.
9 or 10 too, right?
They've got a $10 target on it, and this is a very reputable company and a very reputable analyst. Look, these guys make the silicon. These are chips that do low latency inference at the edge, which is required for security cameras. It's required,
at B. Riley.
Your EV,
it was B. Riley.
Anything autonomous, UAVs.
Can you hear me?
You name it. You don't have time to.
Rick, can you hear me?
Pardon me?
Sorry, it was B. Riley initiating yesterday the $9 price target. I think B. Riley. I'd rather have them than HC Wainwright. And also some news on Temasek Holdings. I don't know who they are, but they took a
Tencent.
I don't know who they are.
Tencent's the big Asian.
Temasek is Tencent.
Next to
Temas. I didn't know Temasek Tencent. Anyway, it says they have a 12.83 million position. Is that true? Is that new information? I don't know.
Yes, I believe that it is. It was new information to me.
I mean, so between those two catalysts, I went long the stock, and 2 good days here on BZAI. I think the next technical target is $4 on this.
Yes, I believe you'll see that within the time frame that encompasses the September monthly call options. Let's just say to talk the book.
That's next Friday. Hey, I was speculating. I was speculating this morning that we had a chance of seeing $4 today. We'll see. It hit 375, but we'll see. Who knows? In this crazy market, if we have light CPI tomorrow, we can get to 4 tomorrow on light CPI.
Yeah. Look, this whole physical AI theme, next to agentic commerce and so on, these are sort of the tier 2 second derivative AI plays that are getting more and more traction in this market. These were the big themes that came out of the big Goldman Telecom Communications Tech Conference that's on right now. And look, one of the names
I'm buying more AEO here. We just broke the high. I have to do it. I gotta do it.
Look, one of the names that I don't think is appreciated at all here is MTech. This thing's got a tiny float too, 4.3 million shares out, in the float. And these guys actually make the AI accelerators and the algorithms that go into hardware that's being incorporated ultimately through LightPath and others into Anduril equipment and other defense primes. So again, this is all inference at the edge. This is all physical AI. Every UAV, every EV, anything that's interpreting data in real time in the real world and acting on it quickly. Your EV on autonomous driving mode doesn't have time to send signals to a data center, get them analyzed, and come back. This is all happening, on the silicon, in the actual vehicle itself. So
I gotta squeeze this because we're running out of time. But there's LDI, beautiful. Okay, what is it? Synestic had big news today. So I haven't talked about Synestic in a long time because there was not much going on. But this morning, news that they're in HomeDepot.com now. So I'm actually going to be interviewing the CEO in a bit, and we'll see. I have a lot of questions. Every time I interview him, the thing skyrockets. So we'll see what happens later today. But big news, Home Depot. We're going to learn more soon on that. Sorry, I had to squeeze that in.
All good.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Unless you have anything else.
You want to talk about Hood real quick? It's pulling back.
You can talk about Hood. I had a 125 price target on it. Hit 123.45. Personally, I didn't think the event last night, the product releases last night, were anything crazy spectacular. I think mostly this is just a continued momentum move off of the S&P 500 inclusion and a technical breakout to all-time highs and less to do with last night's events. But I know you have some opinions on that, so go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the event overall went pretty well, but I think the stickiness for their Robinhood social, I mean, I don't know how good that it's going to be in my opinion. There was like a lot of hype over it, but to be honest, I think it's pretty hard, especially with social platforms, to get conversion rates. I mean, you see it with StockTwits and all the others. So I think that may be a flop for them, but we'll see. It just validates the users. I mean, if you're pretty much saying you're doing a certain stock and putting a thesis out there, I mean, you can back it with your position. So that's the only thing going for them in that aspect. But the custom indicators, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you can build it. It was 25 seconds it took to build an indicator, whereas normally it would take someone building that same indicator, I don't know, 30 minutes, I would say. So that's pretty cool in that aspect. And I think they're going to take away from trading views. So just keep that in mind. And that was in options too. So overnight options was a cool thing. Other than that, the rest of the stuff was kind of to me.
Yeah. By the way, AEO has another resistance here at 1950. That's a pre-market high that it hit at, when is that? Late at night, 9:30 p.m. at night, it looks like. So that's your next resistance now that we broke 19. So I think 1950 may be coming pretty soon. By the way, we're going to do a live trading session. We did one this morning, but we're going to do live trading again right after Benzinga. So folks who want to join us on our Discord can do that, or follow us on X today. Live trading right after the Benzinga show for another hour and a half. All right. Anything else you want to touch on story trading, Godfather?
Yeah, I think people need to not fall asleep on the power side of all of this AI. For as incredible as the backlog that Oracle laid out is, and it's the reason that's the stock is now up 42%. Every single dollar of that backlog is going to require power to make that live. And the two names that we've been talking about in our community, more than a double ago, are AGX and
I
IESC
still own
as power
AGX
contractors.
since you recommended it. I
Yeah,
still
I think
own it in my retirement account. I never traded it, but
exactly what you should be doing. These are the type of names that go in a retirement account. You just own them, forget
AGX,
about them.
I'm up 62% on it.
IESC is a very low float, founder-led power contractor, no analyst coverage, but continues to pump out great numbers year in, year out. Pull up a long-term chart of IESC.
Oh, I remember IESC,
Look at
but
this
I
thing.
never did that one. Wow.
Tell me you don't wish you
Yeah, I
had
do
that
wish
in
I
your,
had that. I
your
do wish I
retirement.
had that. But I added LEU to
Right?
my retirement though, and I'm happy with that after they did the offering.
There you go. Okay, so LEU and then of course SMR.
I've lost
Those are
so
the
much
two names in
money on
focus.
this.
I think you see a 4 handle back on SMR here in
We'll
relative
see.
short order. The stock came out.
I lost so much
looking
money.
like
I did like
7.
big call option position after they had that news item right here on September 3rd, and it hasn't worked out for me. But anyway, we're at the end of the show. Ryan, you there? Ryan's legit.
Always here, but I
All right.
try to give you as much time as possible, especially when we don't get you on in time, but always here. Really good stuff, boys.
All right, beautiful.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Where did Rhett go? What happened to Rhett?
He left because we're doing a live trading stream for the next hour and a half.
Oh, good for you guys. All right.
Yeah.
Crush it.
All right,
Good
see
stuff, guys. Take
All
care.
right, bye.
That is
Great day,
Ben,
everyone.
Godfather, and Rhett, who left earlier here. Folks, we're going to send you over to Kevin at Futures Fever now. Really good stuff here today. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused, and we'll see you tomorrow.